Hello. Oh, my voice. Hello. Welcome. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone in the world you all are. Welcome to the stream. I'm your Blue Archive Gacha Whale beginner artist proclaimed and your boy Tosan Yu. I welcome you into my stream. For today I will be doing an art stream and going to draw Amane Kanata, PPT, PowerPoint Tenchi from Hololives 3rd Gen, who's like also going to be a legend within this year. I figured when I saw like announcement from her yesterday that I really haven't like drawn her at all. I always was like thinking, I think I drew everyone from Gen 3. I was like thinking I drew Toa, I drew Coco, I drew Luna, I drew Watame. Okay, Watame I did not actually. But I was like thinking at that moment that it was like that, and now it turns out like I haven't actually gone so far. So gonna give that like a try, you know? Like catching up with like something I'm supposed to do. And with that, maybe like try to like draw more seriously. I'm not really sure. Like Kanata did a really good job of like entertaining, you know? Like she's a good entertainer. So I have like a lot of funny moments like in my head about like regarding her. But this is like a final goodbye from her side. So going like to see if I can like kind of nail the kind of goodbye vibes, you know. Usually, like what you see on the left side, like samples on my left side is what you can expect from my art streams, but this time I'm not really sure if I can do something with this art style, you know. So I'm like gonna default for now to drawing them not like chibi. I'm gonna see what I can do there. But I will like maybe attempt if I have like enough time to like do it with the chibi figure as well. And I'll like gonna have like to do some sketches, gonna like see if it encapsulates the energy like I wanted to have, you know, even yeah. Maybe like reducing the canvas size, you know, as well. But it doesn't look too incorrect. And I draw hands. I was like looking at Kanata's design. It was like pretty cute one. Like a really high color that would like cover like most of the face. And if you duck like your face, your whole head like into your neck as well, then it would be like less and less visible, right? I kind of like thought was cute and like the angel vibes, and so yeah, character design is like pretty recognizable. She has like the wings, she has like the silhouette with like the hairstyle, and then like also like the head accessory. Like pretty recognizable, even if I black her out like in the thumbnail. It like works already with recognizability. And her singing as well, and her voice range is amazing. But yeah, but what I truly was like enjoying about her, you know, that despite like all those qualities she like brought, she has like somewhat of an underdog story. You know, like that she had like one bad starter hand, you know, like with that she is like deaf on one ear, for example, then this can affect like a lot of things. it's like uncurable. It's like uncurable, so she has like to live with that the whole life, you know. And that while in a work field like Hololive, you know, where there can be a lot of stress, it was like respectable that she was like able to like keep that up for 6 years. And then like even her announcement, she's like really thoughtful, very sweet. So yeah, I kind of like see I can like do besides something more thoughtful on the art, you know, also like something on the more derpier side of like the chibi. I like see. Don't expect like too much from me like in terms of speed here, like when I go like in this style, like with super deformed style, you know, chibi, it's like pretty fast, I must like say. You cannot do that like within 1 hour. I feel like not really caring much about the quality at all, just like focusing like on that I get it finished in the first place. But if I do like that, then there are like some things I am nitpicky about and that I want to get right. So I like kind of rarely draw like this style when I like on stream usually, and for the most part I leave it as a rakugaki, so like as a sketch, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna like see, since it's like one of the few times where I actually have a lot of time, but still, you know, gonna keep up the grind on like the speed, you know, Bakshin strat, right? You don't have to worry much about, you know, certain things if you're just fast. Okay, the canvas size is too high. I can adjust it a little bit. Maybe this much. Hello, Mr. Yu. Hello, Kotomi. Am I too late? No, you haven't missed much. I was just like rambling about Kanata a little bit, and then that I decided to like not draw in chibi style today, since I was like kind of thinking that derpiness doesn't really capture much on like what I want to convey there. But isn't it late for you as well? Are you able to like watch like a decent amount or like listen to a decent amount that's going on here? Nice, I'm excited for the results. Yeah. And yeah, gonna sit in tight there and follow like what's going on here. But feel free to keep it in the background as well if you are like busy, getting tired or whatever, you know, and have to prepare to like for like going to bed. It's 1:47 AM for me, but I will stay up for the night. Oh god. What am I doing to pee? But yeah, this is like one of the few times where I like think this is a good streaming time for me also. I just like woke up 40 minutes ago. I'm like a little bit groggy. Not feeling quite ready, but gonna like, you know, wake up with the grind and yeah. Also drink a little bit of warm water, a little bit of tea. And like keep myself a little bit on the healthy side. It's fun when I can watch you live. Yeah, I guess so. you can interact with the streamer. Like if you just go to the VOD, all you can do is like listening. And maybe like write a comment, and that's about it. Like in terms of interaction. Well, you can also leave a thumbs up, yeah. And then it just shows, ah, I like that, you know. It's just kind of like a safe way. Since with words you can like convey like the wrong thing, you know. Sometimes just easier like for introverts, you know, just like, yeah, just press a button when it gets delivered, you know. In Japan they have like a lot of like introvert friendly things implemented. I was like admit, you know, like when I like remember like some documentaries that were like on German television, you know. I like watched some of those. I was like, wow, this is really convenient, you know. And then when it comes like to Japanese vocab, there's like also not too much on overwhelming things. Well, I usually sleep at 2:30 or 3 AM, so it's good for me to wait. Well, then you have like a little bit under 1 hour, like at minimum. Gosh. But man, what are you like working? What are you like looking for a job, or like when does it start even for you? When you can afford to like sleep around this time? Like being a night owl. I did it for a while, like back in the days, you know, when I was like more into gaming. Where let's say I had like given like up on most of my goals back in the days, but I also figured this is not a healthy way to live. It's like stop that at some point. I'm on vacations, I get uni next year, but I passed my tests already, so I can relax now. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, when you already like are like through the most difficult thing with exams, then yeah, that's great. But also like means that you studied a lot, you know, that you put in the work, and all that vacations when all the things you've learned just exit your mind, be like, you know, you just like threw up everything that you pumped into your brain, just up into your body, you know. It's just like overeating when in the next hour you're gonna like visit, have like a long visit to like the bathroom. And I guess like the vacations are something like that now, and then just degenerating, I suppose. At least that's like the case for me, since I was like a pretty good study type person, you know. I studied like a lot, like for exams, even like wrote myself like some cheat sheets, you know, that I could like hide in my press pocket, for example. This is like what I did, you know. Whenever like there were like multiple pages there, and whenever I like wanted to like, flip a page, I like grab my press pocket, pretend to like grab a tissue, you know, to blow my nose, and then and this is like how I kind of did it, you know, like many different ways like how to cheat. Some like kind of hide a piece of paper in like their pen or whatever, and then like roll it out or so. But you have like to try any time like something new, like able to like cheat into like just as a backup if you can't remember also. I used to study after school to make sure I wouldn't have to take the test again. Okay. You cheated on exams? Yeah, I cheated on like one important exam. I did it like once in like elementary school, but then I was like, yeah, let's not cheat, you know. And then when it came like to the exams for like the most important kind of exams, like to get into the university, you know, I need a certain degree, then there I decided to cheat. This was like around the time when like COVID was, I think, and then there was like online studying, and this really like interrupted like my flow. I couldn't like really study well since online lessons are like not really my thing. I wanted to like go in person like to the school, since when I'm like at home I can't really focus. There's my PC, I can play games on that. There's my bed, anytime I want I can go to sleep. Like at home I'm like really at a comfort zone, and there I can't really go serious unless you take my phone internet away from me also. But usually I have that, you know. If I don't use the stuff that I've been dealt with, it feels weird. It would be just a waste. So yeah, that's what I decide like to do, like with deciding like to cheat, and it worked out. But it could also like be that the teachers were like pretty nice. I think like one kinda was like little bit sus, but could like really like put a thing on it, like how I cheated, you know. It's like this guy, you know, I know you cheated, but I can't prove it, you know. That's so cool though, it takes skill to cheat without getting detected. My friends would look at me for help and we figured out a way to pass answers with gestures, lol. Hey, this is cool. Like teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. I would like say that cheating is cool, you know. Like, I do believe that with hard work, you know, that you get like more satisfying results. But whatever you have to do in order to get you to your goal, you know, it's like not about the method sometimes, it's just like whether or not you can. When I play games, for example, I don't like always go for the easy mode. At the same time, don't go like for the hardest mode either, if I'm like not confident. It's just like playing the game like how the developers intended you to do, right? In a sense. But I had like the choice, you know, with like trying to cheat. I could like try my earnest, fail, then repeat one whole year, or save myself time. And I was like thinking I needed the time, and then with COVID I was not really sure like how long this would like last, you know. Like if there was like never, like there was no cure back then, and nowadays there's not really a cure as well, you know. So I'd like to do that choice there, and I guess I made the right one. I got like a job early, you know, as well. I worked like during the COVID times, and money. I could like support myself, I could support YouTubers I used to watch. Kanata, for example, like I enjoyed, like I watched a lot of like clips I like watched from her, you know, or like with her, you know, as well, where she showed her like skill, or like impersonating people, you know. It's pretty much like Herb from Justice, you know, that she could like skinwalk people. She had like pretty good voice imitation skills. Could like imitate Kaicho, Kyoko, could imitate Fibuki, was able to imitate Marine, like a lot of people. Exactly, effort is effort, yeah. You worked on COVID? That's crazy, yeah. I worked during COVID times, like while I was quarantined. Maybe not like right from the beginning, but like somewhere like 1 year after or so. Where things would calm down. I like the characters they draw cause most of the time they're not people I know. Oh really? Well, you could like say that every character, every VTuber I like draw a fan art of, they're like a real person, you know. With anime characters you can like say, yeah, they're my waifu, they're like my husband or so, you know. But they're like not real in a sense, right? But VTubers, they are. You know, there's a reason person behind it. They have like feelings, you know, they can respond to you like he is a streamer, right? In a sense they're just like streamers with like anime avatar. More or less. But the thing is like this kind of culture of like VTubers like very Japan coded, you know, it's like very much the otaku culture, you know, anime kind of ish. And with that also comes like its own like rules and do and don'ts, you know, like whether as the VTuber or like as the viewer, you know. But the thing is like also like with internet, like with Twitter for example, it's like difficult to regulate, you know. We have like unwritten rules, but sometimes someone comes in and doesn't know the rules, and of course there will be like here and there some issues. So that we have like, you know, that starts like, okay, it's like not only one side, it becomes like a culture of like different kind of cultures and like worldviews. Not really sure how you say worldview, but that it becomes like separate, you know, that there's like now the JP mainstream side and then like the Western side, for example. I could also like call them like internet side, you know, like history. It's always like, yeah, you can't like trust people always like to make the right choice, like the smart choice, you know. Sometimes, a lot of times people decide to be like to do the dumb thing. With VTubers you can say they're your Oshi, but that's not really the same to a waifu husbander. Yeah. Yeah, you can say so. With a waifu husbando, it's just like... they're like more than your favorite character, you know? That you see like yourself self-inserting into like a romance scenario with them. Something like that. But like with VTubers, for example, you could do that too if you're like really parasocial, you know, and support them in that way. But I guess it's like somewhat like real life as well. Do you respect people? Like actors, singers, you know, voice actors as well, VAs, seiyus. And that's that, like with the connection. But with streamers, the streamers, you can actually like chat, and if you're lucky, they can read your chat. You know, if it's like a 1000 viewer stream or like 10k or so. And if they happen to be able to interact with you, you can have like one of the most coolest times in your life ever. Add like the joy like that. Add like interaction like with a Japanese streamer, for example, and them trying their best to like interact with you, you know, despite them having like elite English, you know, like I said, Japanese. It is like something cute and wholesome, I suppose. I did enjoy my time. I probably need to make the eyes a little bit bigger. But it's my first time drawing her, so kind of like slowing down here and there regarding the progress. Not really sure if I'm gonna color or keep it like to a minimum of the colors, you know. I'm gonna like see. I'm gonna take a little bit slower. I have like a lot of time this time. Maybe I keep it like around 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. I'm gonna like see. Most interactions between fans and VTubers look pretty fun and cute. Yeah, that's a nice way to frame it. Like when you have a favorite actor, voice actor, and so there can be like difficulties in like with like interactions, you know. It's not always guaranteed that for example in social media, read your comments or so. For the most part I can ignore DMs as well. So they're like not always like ways to interact with them when they have like managers and stuff. And then it's like autograph sessions or like concerts in your country, depending on like, you know, if it's like a band, a singer, you know. Some people like came into my stream for some reason and be like, oh man, I'm so sad. I couldn't like Ado is in my town, but I can't like visit a concert, I'm broke. And then I'm like, while I was like kind of talking about something totally different, but I guess like, you know, being attached to someone, you know, as a fan can make you do dumb things that you forget like some basic things in communication in a society or so. Kind of roasted people, I think, but yeah. I guess like when you get emotional, then yeah, can be like hard to control. It's like just because a person, you know, you really admire makes you feel that way as well. I'm not really sure if it's like a healthy way, you know. Like if the person you admire, you idolize, is like you want all everything, not really, like it might be like unhealthy. But if you're like kind of like thoughtful about like that, you know, that there are like some borders, you know, they're like a human as well, like not some god as well, you know, they're just a human being that's breathe the same air as you, and it just happened that they're like either talented or they work their ass off to get there, you know, since this is like not an easy position to obtain. You'd theory can get there too, you know. And to be honest, like everyone lost underdog, right? So like who works hard and gets like there, and this is like something we support, you know. Maybe because we see ourselves in them as well, you know. We see us as underdogs as well, and then we live our dreams with like this person who like made it, for example, as well. But like also a thing to look at it. I for example, in anime, for example, I like flawed people, you know. I don't like the perfect Mr. Nice Guy and everything, you know. Even if we have like, for example, in school, you know, a class represent or like class clown, and they're like the popular guys, you know. And I'm always like, I don't hate them, you know, but I'm not as attracted to them to like compared to like hard workers. There's like, and I mean mostly the times of like that hard work can be talent, but this is not always true, to be honest. Do you have an Oshi, Mr. Yu? I have a whole life like some Oshis, you know, but they graduated all. I used to watch Amelia Watson. I used to watch Vespa Noir from Holostar's English Tempest. Nowadays it's like Excel Serious. Sometimes I watch Gerard streams. His streams are pretty unhinged. Sometimes, so when someone has their birthday, when he would put out the snail rat, it's like a snail version of his avatar, but he deformed his live 2D model into looking like a snake. So he would extend like the eyes a little bit out so that they look like snail eyes, for example. And then deform all his face into like the snail face, and then his body, like with the clothing and everything, into the shell, for example, like his home. And this looks really, really cursed. And then he would like do beatboxing in like or like with moaning, like the sounds of like happy birthday, you know, like the melody. It's like, oh, like I described it to you somewhat, but if you're gonna look at that cursed image, and then like the cursed like kind of happy birthdays melody, you would like lose some brain cells. If you're like curious, you can look it up, but or like on his Twitter, he like sometimes would like comment with a clip of that, you know, it's your birthday, when he would like post an image with like some cursed laughing at you, you know, with his hair PNG'd onto that as well. When someone like would like post a comment on it with like this cursed kind of happy birthday thing. But he's like a pretty good entertainer, pretty skilled as well. Actually, like he's very talented, and he's like basically a prince. He has like waitresses, maids or something like that. His mother's like pretty rich, and but he's not really abusing his good starter hand, you know. He is actually an underdog in Holostars, you know. Like as a Holostars, he's like an underdog. Like they're like the girls, for example. Nothing against them, you know, but the fan base in Hololive is like a lot stronger. They get like right from the get-go a boost of like 200k, 300k subscribers. But Gerard, he had to work his ass off to get like to even 100k subscribers in the first place, while, you know, Hololive members would get it like for free, basically. And showed like, you know, shows like that he can like work hard, that he is like working hard. And he would like love to like do more, but there are like some limits, of course, and you know, I like to support that. Even though he's sometimes cursed, he's sometimes like whack, but that's my pro, you know. Oh god, I like Princess. I don't know much about Hololivers. Yeah. I'm not like saying that Hololive people have like a silver spoon, you know. They're not silver spoons necessarily. They like work their asses off as well. It just so happens that you know, in the otaka culture, we love waifus, we love like anime girls, you know. And if they happen to look like really amazing, then yeah, we're gonna be a simp for that, I suppose. And to be honest, I like Kanata's design. She's like an angel. Not a small angel, you know, but very strong. By the way, besides her having like an ear disease, you know, that she can only hear one ear, and it's uncurable. She has like also like some things that make her stand out crazy, you know, like singing skills aside, and like voice impressions, you know, voice imitation, voice range. She has like the grip strength for a gorilla. Like she has like immense grip strength. She can like you know, like grab an apple in the hand and then like crush it with one hand, like one-handed or something like that. She's like crazy strong. sometimes when I look at the design and like imagine, man, yeah, it's like a waifu, you know, something like that, and then we intertwine our heads, and then she would like break my head or something like that. And yeah. There was like one clip like where she did the ring fit or something, like testing the grip strength, and then you know, for the most part with other Hololive members, it was just like pretty normal, pretty decent, like one would expect. But when it came to Kanata, it's like short like warning sign. Stop, 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 you're gonna rip the ring apart! But she pretty funny. She a bit entertaining. It's like impressive like what she has like there to compensate. But yeah, not being able to hear one ear. She has like a mini ear or so. It's like not only that she is unable to hear one ear, but there's also like some side effects, you know, like coming from that, and like dizziness and everything, and that she does like feel unwell, and she had like to bear with that like a long time. So yeah, she's an underdog, you know. But even though it's like hard to like go on with that, you can like still make a move, you know. It's like a penguin, you know. They're like a bird, but they can fly. But even if you don't have like wings technically, you can still like come far in life, yeah. You can still like fly, more or less. Which wouldn't like make sense really much in real life, but just as a metaphor, you know. And even though she has like this handicap, she's like one of the best singers like that Hololive, for example, has. But now I can like say had, you know, like when she graduates. You will not be able to like, at least she like stated so that she will not reincarnate, you know, she will not come like up as a streamer, VTuber, like with a different name, with a different face, you know. This will be like a goodbye, a true goodbye, you know. So yeah, gonna try like something for her. Will be my first fan art, so I will like slow a little bit down here and there just to like make it right. But even if you have like to leave like earlier, you know, you can like still like watch the progress on the VOD, or like just go to my social media, you know, and see the finished result there, I suppose. Maybe if I have like enough time, I will do a chibi version as well. I'm gonna like think how I do that. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, it is. Like goodbyes are like not always like sometimes goodbye means like actually goodbye, you know. She did bring a lot of joy into the life of a lot of people. She brought like joy into my life as like with those clips that like showed up. You can also like say shoutouts to the clippers, you know. But it's actually like her doing as well that actually those clips exist, you know. That people like found it so funny, so interesting. Hey, we need to share it with other people, you know. A lot of people like do that. When they loved something, they would like to share that. Usually my fave livers of every wave end up graduating with the announcements gets tiring. A wave? I think like livers and wave, this is like a term in like Niji Sanji, right? I do like the Japanese. I do like most of like the Japanese VTubers of Niji Sanji. I watched like some of the end. But yeah, the thing is like I don't have enough time in my day. But I sometimes like hear about the news as well, here and there, like when someone graduates, it's like something that usually like gets out that can like reach me. And yeah. I'm not really a fan, but I know some of the livers. Ah, I see. I'm gonna like see. I'm gonna just do sketches for now with like the ruffles for now. Like this is a sketch phase more or less. But even like sketches take like a long time for me. Maybe I'd like do it like a bit more dirty. Yeah. Just need to see that I can get it finished and then I can clean it up afterwards, and we're gonna see if I can actually color or not. But yeah, regarding like gradations in Nijisanji, they don't like go off of a bang. For the most part, what I've witnessed is like that they have solo gradation stream with a live 2D. Or they do like a tokusatsu, so that they accept phone calls and then they have like their last talk. With like everyone. I listen like to a lot of tokusatsus like from Niji Insights. But like I watched like one gradation stream like with like Suzuhara Lulu. For some reason her channel is like up again. And almost all of the archives are back. Just like the announcement stream where she would like graduate in her last stream. Like where she actually, you know, graduated, are not there anymore. This was like the first thing that like that I noticed, you know, because I was there at both moments. I was like looking for that. Like for Suzuhara Lulu's stream, like first of all, who's Suzuhara Lulu? She's like a female Nijisanji liver. She was a female Nijisanji liver. And she's like, for a setting, like an art student, you know? But for some reason, people found her scary. Like when she would play games, like rage-inducing games like Jump King, Getting Over It, for example. She would not get angry at all. She's like really patient, you know? Which is an admirable kind of like thing to have, like having all the patience. But for some reason, the expressions like her character model would do, they look pretty scary. Like she would widen her eyes, and she had like this smile on her face. And she would always like speak like calmly and composed. And some people got like kind of like the scares, you know? And the stream was like about 7, 8, 9, 10 hours long until she was like able to be like getting over it. And not a single time she erupted, you know? And then some people were like, if she actually gets angry, they would go under, you know? We will like witness like the end of the world if we like enrage her. And then some people like address her like as the Eldritch god, you know? You have like a whole live English, like the priestess, the actual Eldritch god there, but she's actually an art student, like an art nerd. Rather like with Suzuhara Lulu, No, she's not asked to this a disguise. She's like an Eldritch god, you know? An Eldritch goddess. Scary? Yeah, she was scary. At least this was like the kind of impression, you know? That's mean, I swear. I swear must have been cool. Yeah, it is like cool. He plays also like Dark Souls, like Souls-like games, like pretty difficult game genre, like in a similar kind of manner, like calm and composed. But also like, you know, with like the fan base shivering and like being scared, you know, that she's gonna erupt at some point, you know. But people like stick because her model looks really attractive, her voice fits too like that, she can sing, she's pretty cute. But yeah, her model is like one of the most attractive ones out there, and all the costume variations, they all slap. I really fell in love with that kind of thing. But I guess like I also like got into that kind of thing where I also be like, oh man, she's scary, you know, it's just like the kind of mentality like when you're a group that you that some of like their kind of things go like transfer to you. Wow, this is so cute. Is it? I don't know. I'm still like in the sketching phase. I'm not like satisfied with everything I like did here, but if I think it is, then I'm happy. I'm not really used to like drawing like that, so. But since it's like important, you know, she will like leave us at some point. Amane Kanata, the girl draw. Yeah, gonna do something more serious rather than like, you know, what you see on the left side. Usually I draw like that, and I can like be done in 2 to 3 hours with like drawing in chibi style, applying some colors, and then it has like a cute and derpy vibe. But sometimes with this derpy vibe, simplicity, you can express a lot easier, like the things. When I get frustrated at a game, I just cry, lol. I look up for awards. Do so. Like, for some reason, her channel got like revived. Only like 2 things are missing. Like where she announced her graduation, with the actual graduation stream. But other than that, everything else is there. She's a Japanese liver, but there are also VODs. Not VODs, clips, yeah. It's like where I found her first. I just got Twitch, so I'm gonna explore around but see ya later, lol. Alright. I'm not really sure if there's gonna be a later. Most people are like... The thing is like, you know, with VTubers, I've witnessed a lot of like goodbyes in my life. But so it's like with some chatters as well. It's like a hello and goodbye every single time, every now and then. I'm getting used to that, but at the same time I'm kind of like, man, I see a new cool person, but I'm gonna have to say goodbye to them at some point. And sometimes, you know, it gets in my mind. I'm not like getting directly sad, but it gets in my mind that, oh man, this was a cool person, but yeah, they're not gonna stick around for a long time, is what I'm thinking. Some people can prove me wrong, but for the most part, I have like expectation and like, yeah, it's not gonna be like that. There might be like some point like hardcore fans and everything, but the thing is like the competition, you know, like there are so many people out there. They could have like a better voice than you. They could draw better than you. There's like the thing with like hard work can like be talent eventually, right? But no matter how hard you work, you know, there's always someone better than you, or like the Asian kind of thing. No matter how good you're at a game, there's always someone better than you, probably Asian. You know? So yeah. See you later. And there I gone. Yeah, I get you. Every time YouTube gets me your notification, it's just as I'm about to go to bed. I get so sad, lol. But it's exciting when I can stay. Yeah, that makes me happy. I could like see what I can like do about the scheduling, you know, that it's like around your prime time. For like most people it's like around 7 p.m, 9, 8, 10 p.m. or so. But if I would like try to stream around those times, it would be like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning for me, you know. Time zones are like weird. But it's like not the first time I like tried something like that. I tried to like do a I did like karaoke stream like around those prime times for the far west, but you know, I'm like a number monkey somewhat as well. I see the numbers and be like, huh, I didn't got so many viewers this time, you know. I didn't stream too much people. And I'm kind of like, yeah. What am I fighting for, you know? What am I fighting for? You know, something like that. But I guess it's just like one time. I need to keep like doing more and more, you know? But just like the thing, like as a human, that you start to think like about things logically. You do like try and error. No, that made me so sad. I think it's all about fun. Fun equals stick around. I guess, lol. Yeah. But you don't have to feel obligated to like stay with everyone, you know? Like if you feel like I like this guy, but this one I like better, you know? Like you play, I suppose, you know, some people like play a certain game, you know, like Dragon Quest 1. And then they go over to like Dragon Quest 3, for example, you know. It's like technically of the same game series, but the other thing's better, you know. And I think like there might be a better Tosa around there in the world. You know, there's always someone better than you. Maybe it's not even like better thing than you, it's just like you found something that's more to your taste, you know. And that's about it. No, don't worry about my schedule. You should take care about yours first. Well, the thing is like, I run the channel, but I'm nothing without, you know, without your, like, without the likes, without the subscribers. To be honest, I do this as a hobby, but at the same time, I do think, can I do that? Can I earn money with that, you know? Currently, I don't earn money at all, you know? I don't have anything activated there for now. But I do like think about like at the future, you know? If it could be a backup plan. But it's also like gonna be a little bit you know? Because you turn your hobby into, you know, a side hustle. And if you do that, you can't really return to it as a hobby anymore, you know? To like relax and everything. Some whole live streamer, you know, like VTubers, they like say streaming is for me like, you know, resting. This is like my sanctuary. I can like relax there, you know, like from all my recording, voice work, work with managers, you know, they say something like that. And I would like to believe that, but yeah, huh. But once I like go there might be no coming back, you know. True, I try to follow everyone to support, but I can't keep up with everyone, yeah. You cannot clone yourself, you are not like Naruto. You don't have like a super brain to like watch, let's say 20 streams at once and still like process everything perfectly, you know. You're just one guy, just one little guy. Or girl, you know. Or something. I would love to have the ability as well, like that I could like do multiple things at once, you know. Like no, multiple arms don't help, it's just like I have a super brain in my mind that I would need to be able to like keep up. But there are like limits with everything, of course. Like I don't need super strength, I don't need super speed, I don't need to fight well, I just like want... I don't want like to let everyone down in a sense, you know. That I do like want to do many things. I do admire like the zombie VTuber from Hololives Indonesia, Crazy Ollie for example. She was a fan of like Hololive, Holostars, Holopro, you know. But then she started to apply to be able to support them more, you know? Instead of just liking, instead of like just doing fan art, subscribing, throwing super chats at them, she wanted to be like a talent so that she can help them directly, like with collabs and everything, you know? When she becomes big enough, you know, she can help the others like to get bigger numbers or something like that, to like make cooler projects. And this was like, holy crap, this is the next level of like being a fan, being a true enjoyer of like the streamer also, right? If I think about it, you know, I had like some viewers who were like, hey Tosan, you're my favorite streamer, you know? And when they stopped streaming, and then they became themselves like, no, they stopped watching, and then they themselves became like a VTuber, you know? Maybe they tried the same approach, but history, you know, makes me always believe that, made me like expect like that people will not always like do the smartest choice or like the most admirable choice, you know? Yeah, I kept my expectations like low. But knowing like there is a case like Crazy Ollie, you know, zombie VTuber, who went like that far as a fan, even now a Giga Chat fan also, yeah. Right, make your hobby into a job defeats the purpose. Oh, I'm supposed to recover my MP like that, you know? True, but your minimum is someone's maximum, so it goes both ways? Yeah, it can make someone's day, just being yourself, you know? And do your stuff. I could fake a lot of things as well. I could like talk in a cutesy kind of voice, you know? Hi, domo, tosayu desu, and everything, but it wouldn't like really be me as well. If people were into it, I'm like, oh no, you know, then I can't go back anymore. Always trying to like fulfill people's expectation, you know, and this could be like a hellhole you can't get out of. You're not like Naruto, are you sure? Maybe like from a character's perspective, but it's just like the ability of Kagebunshin, you know, it's just so useful. I love the concept of a zombie VTuber. It's a cool design she has. She has like a really talented, a really skilled artist there with like, not Palazzo? Lam Sensei, yeah. Oh, cute. Yeah, I can do voices, you know, I do like voice imitation as well. Every now and then. I can like be a Prince Charming as well, like more or less, you know. I say like Prince Charming, but it's like those, you know, those in the anime kind of trope, those like really nice guy, Mr. Nice Guy people, you know. And to be honest, I sometimes like to have the thought, okay, I'm gonna be like Mr. Nice Guy, when the girls be like, ooh, you know, but at the same time, I'm not really familiar with like the kind of meta there, really, you know. What are the Fujos into, you know? Like this can have really big success, but you're gonna sacrifice your mental health for them. Since, like, not to like talk people's interest and hobbies down, you know? It's just like, I'm dying inside. I could die inside. Like, do like Fujo baits, doing some corny ASMR, you know? And I do like ASMR, by the way. I do understand like where they come from, but if I were to like, you know, show myself from a side I'm not I'm usually not, and then keep that for like years up, I would die and then quit at some point, you know? So I admire like people who, you know, who work their asses off, you know, be themselves and still have success. But sometimes you have to follow the meta, sometimes. It's like, you know, I sometimes had to cheat once in my exams, you know, to make it like far enough, you know. Like with jobs and everything. But if it's gonna be a permanent thing, oh gosh. Dan Service Voice, Mr. You approved. Well, I say I like voice work, but I'm not like really sure like how skilled am I actually, you know? I'm like just like a little bit of a wannabe. If I'm like humble there. I was kind of like thinking of like, hey yo, I'm your boy Tosan Yu, I'm a wannabe voice actor, you know. Not really sure like when I started with that, but I do like think that it's like kind of memorable to introduce yourself like, hello, it's your boy, you know. And it's like boy with a O and a I, you know, like a oi. Not like with the O and Y. I don't know, like sometimes I do like to make those mistakes on purpose and then it's like a little more charming. Like having like those weird writing quirks, you know, but sometimes can get like a little bit cringe, you know, like when people like add a oo to like every kind of sentence, or like if they turn the R's into uwu and the W, you know. But yeah, can't have enough W's in your life, right? Can never have enough. Sometimes you need like the self-appreciation instead of like the harsh realism, harsh you know, realness of the world getting into you. Take it till you make it, you know? Like boy? Yeah, like how you wrote it. It's like spelling bunny as Benui. Funny. Yeah. I don't know. I do smile a little bit when I see like those little quirks, you know? Especially like if it's on someone I don't expect it to come from. You know, when there's be like a krill friend, you know, not girlfriends, like krill friend, you know. And then sometimes in a literal sense it's not a actual girlfriend, it's actually like a krill friend, like someone who's like krilling, you know, who does like barbecue and stuff. And then yeah, choose wisely, cat girlfriend or like cat krill friend, and then oh, I'm gonna choose the krill friend, you know. There were like things like that in Blue Archive as well. There's actually like besides like, you know, a cat girl, like also like there's also like one who actually like krills, like in her summer owls, you know, like Serika. Being cringe is being free. Yes. Don't kill the cringe, kill the part that cringes. You're cringe, but you're free. I think online you can get away with that, you know. But if you in like real life go like around in a cosplay, people would be like, yeah. Yeah, you can be cringe, but I'm also like pretty aware, yeah, don't want to make people uncomfortable, you know. I do like appreciate when I find like like-minded people. Like for the most part, I you know, like chat reflects the streamer. Like at the very least, like the chat that is like mostly around in every stream, you know. Sometimes people come just like for a certain game I play, and then I never see them again, you know, like with the goodbyes, I have like to say. But those people who stick around usually, you know, are a reflection of myself somewhat. If I were like to bait though, like, you know, future baiting, and then I get this kind of reflection of myself, I guess this is like where cringing can come from, and like uncomfortableness. Like I'm not like against the idea, to be honest. I do want like to do, for example, like ASMR at some point. Since I do think my voice can work for that somewhat. Now, by the way, tomorrow, alright, I want to ask you, who was your favorite character from Blue Archive? For me, favorite character in Blue Archive is like Hanaoka Yuzu. She's like the president of the game development department in Blue Archive in Millennium Science School. There's a little bit of a backstory there. I'm not really sure if I have the time to like explain. Actually, I do a stream, but I don't know if you have the time to like listen to it. Yeah. ASMR. Regarding that, you know, tomorrow I do like a stream where I like try emotes. Like actually I can open memberships in my YouTube. And on Twitch side, I do want to update the emotes there. So I was like thinking, let's draw some that actually fit like to the current design. Oh, I just met her like 2 days ago on the story. Wonderful. The thing is like how I met her was like via watching a stream from Takanashi Kiara. It was like a sponsored stream from Blue Archive, you know. Like 2-3 years ago. Kiara was like reading the main story, but then couldn't like proceed any further since she had like to clear stages first. Now it's a gameplay loop. Then instead she went like to the group stories, and it looks like depending on like how many students of each club school you like unlocked, you know. She had like Momoi, she got like Midori, and then she was able to read the group story from the game development department. I think this was 1 or 2 episodes or so. And the main spotlight was like on Yuzu, when she like resolved the problem, despite her like being a shy, introverted person, you know, who just wants to play games. And she's like known as the Yuzu Queen. U and Z, Yuzu Queen. Like a legendary gamer. Always like a myth, a legend, you know. But then she showed up, helped like her friends, you know, against like a toxic gamer. And then please apologize to her, you know, and then people be like, oh yo, is that Yuzu Queen? Yo, it's Yuzu Queen! Holy crap, she's so cute! And then they would surround her and she, you know, like butchy, like very social anxious, and no, I want to just to play games! And then yeah, kind of collapsing there, but you know, even though she's like so shy, you know, she cares about her friends, she musters up her courage, you know, and I thought this was like pretty admirable, you know. And then I was like, yeah, this girl's my daughter, you know, that's my favorite student. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. It is, I think. And since then, she had like this long-lasting impression on me and still have this thing. If you go like to my Twitter, for example, and see like the pinned comment there, I got her to like bond level 100, which is like the max. Just like to show the testament on like, yeah, she's my favorite currently. He also has like a maid ult, you know, but currently in Japan there's like a new story arc with the Kakramaton, and then you see her like in a Evangelion-ish outfit. And I'm like curious if they're gonna release like a playable version of that, you know, that I can put on gacha and then like also raise the level and everything there. I'm actually like looking forward to it. By the way, Blue Archive is a mobile tactical military RPG with like anime schoolgirls for some people who don't like know. It's like pretty popular in the Far East, Japan, Korea, some parts in China. There's a Taiwan server even. And in the West, it also got like, you know, far enough that people like know what it is. There are like some conventions in AX every now and then. Sometimes like the music producers and like the producer from the archive, you know, they come over there and you know, as well as like special guests. That's probably where their money went into, like all gacha money. Not a choice I'm like super agreeable with, but you know, if it gets in the chance to like visit America, for example, then yeah, I suppose. I just realized I didn't follow you on Twitter, such a fake fan. Well, I don't really mind that much. I sometimes like said things about numbers, you know, number monkey as well. So do you like... I have like, you know, but I would like lie if I say I don't care about numbers, you know. But just like I pay less and less attention to it, like when I go like back there from a long work hard day. Long hard work day. And just like to relax, you know. Then it's like just about it's just like that for me, that I decompress. But the thing is like also I want to give up on some things, you know, to like clear up more time. Social media can like take time away. I caught myself scrolling on Twitter for about 40 minutes or so. Holy crap. It's like this kind of danger of like social media. When you can scroll, and if you find something boring, oh, just scroll further and you find like something more cool, you know? You find at some point like rage bait, then you don't want to interact with it, scroll, oh, there's something cool, is there more? Scroll. It's just like with YouTube, you know? When you like watch a video or like TikTok, you know, hey, you finished that one. If you like this one, hey, how about that one? You know, they keep you pumping suggestions, and then if you have especially like ADHD and everything, it can get pretty dangerous on how much time you can lose, you know. Twitter can be a cool thing, you know, there are cool things, there are artists, there are memes and everything, but man, it can take a lot of time away. Kanata! Sub emoji, yeah. It's a hello 8, welcome to the art stream. I'm currently Amane Kanata from Hololives the 3rd gen, or PP Tenshi, PowerPoint Tenshi. Wake him, wake him. So yeah, I kinda have like to do my best, but the thing is like willpower is like always limited, you know. The best way to save it up is just like my MP and everything, just to not attack with it in the first place. Just like open it if you want to upload stuff. But if I hadn't opened like Twitter, I wouldn't like notice like hack radiation like notice as well. So yeah, they're like good and bad things. At least I have Iron Mouse. Yeah, at least you have her. Even though she has her own battles to fight right now. But as long as you're like there as another voice, as another number. I say like number, let's say just like another voice, another fan. And yeah. You have her back. And we can like say, oh, there's a 1 billion subscriber VTuber. You know, she's like pretty big out there. Let's back up that one, you know, something like that. This just one bad difference can make like a difference, you know. But man, when companies, you know, see you not as a person but as a number. I would hate that when like some streamers really, or like content creator really think like that. After like following like metas from Mr. Beast or so, for example, you know, like from really big content creators who like are like optimization of the content, rather than like, you know, appreciating like people for as being a person, you know. Like doing things for fun on YouTube and making money is not that easy anymore. Not that I'm making money at all. I'm not making money at all, by the way. I did it like for a few years already, streaming here. I'm like taking it slowly. I want like to have a little bit of a record, you know, so that I can like show people, hey, yeah, I streamed like for a few years. Every week I'm like pretty regular there, you know, just so you can show that I can be consistent. And to be honest, this scheduling there, you know, it helps. It helps a lot of like my mental for some reason. Like I'm a lot more cheerful when I talk to people. I notice like the positive changes. I do lose a lot of time. I can be stressed out, but overall, I'm pretty happy right now. Things could be better, but I'm happy, you know? And I think that is enough, you know? Enough is better than more. If I can get more, cool, but currently I'm like fine with enough, you know? I just go in my pace currently. I hope you can like have like somewhat of a healthy-ish schedule too, you know? It can always be cool when everyone gets like $1 billion or so, you know? Everyone deserves like good things in their life, but sometimes, you know, it's just like reality. That you have like, if you want something, that you have to work hard for it, you know? You have to like to use the starter hand you've been dealt with. Sometimes you get like your openings, your big opportunities, you know? It just depends. Do you have the right cards ready? And are you aware of the opening, you know? Currently I have like some, but I'm not sure if I have like the time to like play it out, you know? I would like talk about the danger of like social media as well. This can like take time as well, way too. Like to be really free, I have like to turn off like internet for like a good bit. But for some things I do need like internet for, and that's like also the issue. Like streaming, for example. I wish I would have found your channel earlier. Nah, it's good. It's good. Like I think it's like better late than never as well, I would say. Like if some Niji Sanji Laivas, you know, who graduated, I wish I would found them earlier as well. Like Kudo Chitose. Like some Holo Stars VTuber, you know, I found them, I didn't really watch them, you know, like Skish Takaru. I didn't like watch enough when they're like, I didn't watch them at all, I must like say, even when they were like active, you know, or like Kagami Kira, you know. I watched clips, yes, but I didn't watch their streams really, you know. I did believe I subscribed there, at least something, I did what I can, but it's still like, yeah. Like, I think like everyone had like those moments where they wish they could like do more, but I think enough is better than more, you know. Do what you can. Like even myself, I myself, I do think there are like limits on what you can do. Especially with the time zones right now, right? So for you it's like 3 AM I think. And it's like not really, yeah, healthy, I must like say. But like gotta see. Maybe I can stream like in my time zone around 8 PM or so. And then it's like 13 o'clock, 1 PM. I'm gonna see. Gonna like see. I really should get going, but it's too fun to leave. Yeah. But yeah, take care of yourself. I mean, I do like and support some people too. Hololives for a long time. I did like actually something crazy on like that I would post a schedule, and then it's my time zone. It's like in the midnight. But I would adjust my sleep schedule, you know, that I would like do multiple power naps, like during naps in general, like around the day. That I kind of like get the 6 or 8 hours like completed, you know. Like 2 hours nap in the morning, 2 hours nap during daytime, 2 hour nap during the evening, you know. While like camping, circulating through all the Myth streams, Hololives and Myth, you know. And I kept that like up for months. I do see like some fanarts where like Korean KFP people, you know, Kiara's like in EU, KR are like, you know, more in the east. When it's like evening for Kiara, it's like midnight or like nighttime for them, you know. When they have to like, you know, to sleep early, they have like an alarm, you know, to like adjust for like Kiara's live streams, you know, and then they would like put on their hat, you know, and go like back to KFP work, you know, like they're like McDonald's workers, you know, they have like the uniform and everything, like those little chickens, pretty cute. Like this kind of dedication, you know. I just remember that fan art and was like thinking, man, that's cute, you know, that they work their ass off for someone they enjoy. To be honest, I like people who work their asses off, but I do not expect that like from my viewers, to be honest. Like you know, I told you about the sentiment that I gonna say hello and goodbye, and the thing is like, it's like the average, you know. There are like some special cases, but at some point the fire burns out. Or sometimes something comes up in real life. Like people like move on, you know, like from elementary school to middle school, you know. I think I'm not part of that life, where they need to like go on. Some people can let me go, and I think this is good, you know, and they don't need me for their future. Future can like need something good, opportunities in their life, that they can hit the next stage. Maybe they become a voice actor, you know, they become a superstar, actor, whatever, you know. Maybe a good paying job. Right? And if they can find their own slice of happiness without me, you know, I'm just a random guy on the internet, you know, I'm not really important. And it's good. It will get lonely every now and then, but sometimes cool people come in during a certain gaming stream and be like, and then help me. Or backseat me, whatever, you know. Maybe I'm gonna play like some of the newer games, maybe I get like new audience. Or I try like a certain Hololive member or Holo Stars, and then other new people come in, you know. But the thing is like also when I try like, let's say, Kanata fans come in, it's only like for that stream, right? When it's about it, you know, because they watch like Kanata for example already. This is understandable, you know, they're not here for me, they're just here for the fan art, you know. This is like also fine. Sometimes I like that too, this is understandable. Like the thing is like always like not making them agree to you, but you have to understand them, you know. Like even with people you don't agree with, you have to somewhat understand where they come from, you know, and be acceptant, tolerant. Like I learned that like more and more like during the last years, like I kind of streamed. But yeah, when I'm looking back, you know, I'm like glad that I didn't really do any really big mistakes. Maybe there were like things where I like was like muted the whole stream, or like a good part of the stream, or like my mic didn't work when you didn't understand at all what I said, you know. Those are like usual streamer stuff, but actually like something where I did like feel the morally wrong choice. So far I don't have the feeling that I did anything like that. So I have like a healthy conscience. Like I'm still myself, you know, I'm like not someone who baits people into, I don't know, rage baiting. Or like do drama also. Currently it's just relax with like art, some games, karaoke, sometimes I chat or do hand cams. The drawing looks amazing already. It's like they're visiting, right? Yeah, it's like visiting, you know. But yeah, thanks for the compliment there, like on the drawing. I like to do a lot of lines, sketchy lines and everything. I could like show off like on a webcam stream like my sketchbook. Real life sketchbook. Or like through like some things I like drew like back in the days. Like the really humble beginnings, you know, and then how it progressed. I'm not really sure how good my handcam mic would be like that, but I plan like something like that in next week. Next week, by the way, it's gonna be my birthday. I think like I'm gonna show like something a little bit more on stuff. Like not show my face, you know, just you know, just showing some things in real life a little bit more. Ah, I just remembered. Can I make a doll of your little chibi? Yeah, you can make a doll of my little chibi. I think I'm gonna upload like a character sheet next week. On the YouTube members, not the YouTube members. Community post. I haven't like shared it at all. I did share it like in 1 or 2 streams, but yeah, digging that up is gonna be like a lot of effort. You basically, you know, basically having no free time. It's like a bunch of like 2 to 3 hour streams, you know, but if you add that up, it's like a lot. Like anime you can binge, but streams? VODs? Not really. When all Hololive members quit, all the pro members quit, I could catch up with the VODs, I could like binge that in a year, 2, 3 or so, but yeah. But then you're like, oh man, I like that guy, I want more of them. and then there's nothing anymore, right? There's also like the dilemma of that. Maybe I do understand you as well, you know? Like I'm happy when I'm like there in a live stream, you know? It's fun. Even though I have to go to bed now, something like that. It's like the dilemma. But the thing is like, happiness, luck is like from short duration, you know? Health is something you can keep like for a long time. But it can like degrade as well if you're like neglecting that. I try like my best like to have enough sleep, keep like my circadian rhythm. Like when I'm like working, and it's shifting between early and like morning and like afternoon shift, and it's not good at all for my circadian rhythm. But when I have like long time vacation, I can actually get to that more often, like a healthy sleep schedule, like to actually recover. I'm like trying to do that. Like currently I have like vacation, so I have like taken a lot of time to prepare like to work on projects for this channel here. I also have like other things to do, since I'm like leading a gaming guild in Blue Archive. So like I run a club in Blue Archive. Some games it's like called a guild, or like a clan, right? But I really underestimated that, man. It takes a lot of time away. Like you have to DM people. Thank you, I wanted to make one of those little soft dolls for my bag. You have a guild? That's so cool, yeah. I thought it would be easier. I thought it just maybe it's like just a thought. I'm the leader of the best guild in this game, you know. But yeah, actually, there are more cons than pros, I suppose, in the long term. Especially if you have like other desires and so, other like dreams. But now I'm like hanging in there. But the more like comes up onto my plate, like playing also with Musume, you know. Umamasumi. I do like realize I do need to let go of some things. I have now a little bit more time, but also gives me a little bit of time to think as well. Like sometimes when you take a shower or you're like in the bathroom right now, those are like times usually where you're not on your phone, on your screen or so. You actually can like think. On stream I can also like think, to be honest. Like I'm not doom scrolling, I'm not watching YouTube shorts or TikTok, you know. I'm not watching TikTok at all, but even like YouTube alone has like hands and like wasting your time. My live stream is also like wasting your time in theory, you know. If you keep it as a background, by the way, and you play currently a game or like eat also, or like work on some homeworks, technically it is also a waste of time. Technically. I'm just like kind of saying I'm a secondary. Kinda downplaying myself every single time. But this is like kind of like the truth, I think, I suppose. The thing is like it's hard to focus on two things at once already, you know? And your brain will not be able to like process both things like well. Like if you, for example, like vacuum clean in the house, do like house chores, you have like time to think for yourself. Your brain has like a break, you know? But if you keep something on at the same time, like music, podcast, a stream or so, even if it's just background noise, if you can even hear it and like understand the words and everything, it does give your brain a little bit of difficulty to like process information, like everything you went through the day already, you know? Of course you want like to cost out, taste every single moment, you know? If we can like do multiple things at once, but it's just like for the brain processing power, like not really good, you know? Let's say you have like a fight with your parents or like friends or so, or like you got like a bad grade and you're like down, whatever, or you choked a game, or you got emotional about a scene, an anime, whatever. And then you go like vacuum cleaning or so, house chores, and then you listen to like music, stream or so. Your brain is like not really able to like process information, or you think about 1 or 2 hours, you know, think about it and then you're like good already. But when you distract your mind, you know, suppress the emotion, it is not really like the most healthiest thing, like mental health wise, you know. When you go to bed, you're like off from your phone, and then all the thoughts rush back into your mind. And some people find like hard because of that to like fall asleep, having like insomnia and everything, you know. Like for me, this like pretty worst case to recover mana, you know, my MP, to recover like my brain juices, motivation and everything. Like they like things like that, you know. Like people thought on psychology, like what like screen addiction can make with a person, can do to a person. I had much fun tonight, Mr. Yu. I hope you have a nice dream, and I'm thrilled to see the result of art on Twitter. Good night, good night. I really want to stay, but I'm EP. Yeah, just go to sleep, you know. Have a good night. You know, this interaction reminds me kind of like of one meme. But when they asserted like Agnes Tachyon and Mahatma Cafe in there, you know? I'm EP. Go to sleep. But I want to talk to you. And then don't go to bed. But I'm EP. Oh, I'm gonna freaking kill you. You know. If I'm like thinking about it, you know. I guess like some content creators who really come up with numbers will have the issue there. Stay and I get better numbers. But you're gonna sacrifice some of the health. Not the best management choice. But if you tell them, you know, to, you know, the thing is like those numbers are like temporarily, you know. But if you do like the morally good choice, you know, just go to sleep, you know, it can like, if you're good conscience. There was like the things like to think about, but to be honest, at the end of the day, I leave it up to the people if they want to or not. I do talk about sleeping as well, and like the screen time. But just like information I put out, you know. As a streamer, you know, I'm a random guy on the internet, you know. I don't really have a say in what you can and can't do in your life, you know. Even if other people, like gurus for example, YouTube gurus, you know, don't really trust them, you know. Do not trust them. Don't get influenced like what people say on the internet, you know. Especially if it's like on like Twitter, Reddit or so, or 4chan. Like internet can be cool, you know, with like the art, the memes and everything, but it has like some bad apples there, right? Bad apples. This looks not bad. Looks not bad. I could do work on the wings a little bit more on this side here. I do like black and white drawings when I draw on this style here. I like it more in the black and white. But I could like try to like color it, you know. Back in the days I colored. It took me about 2 hours, yeah, actually 2 hours back in the days. The thing is like I'm not getting distracted, you know. I can like fully focus on drawing. But when on stream, I do slow down because I talk to you. I talk to myself. Even professional artists, they slow like down, you know, when they like chat. It's hard to do like 2 things at once, right? Technically you can still do 2 things at once, but it slows you down. Whatever you do. Even like listening to music, it will slow you down. Well, for some people it like helps. Like music, I don't know. For me it like distracts. When I write things, however, sometimes it is like helpful to like get a certain mood, you know. Maybe it's like a certain like emotional mindset you like need. And the thing is like when things are silent, thoughts will rush into your mind. And when you have like time, the ability to face them, compress them, process them, you know. There's maybe like a reason why I do like art streams and like the chatting and drawing kind of thing. Like to draw can also help me to process my kind of inner clockwork. Yeah, like what goes on inside oneself. Does help with that. One, 2, 3, 4. Counting like how many fingers there are. Make it like look believable. Let me check my own hand. Yeah, something like that. I think like one thing I like in Persona, for example, like when I watch the anime, they have like those things where the characters face themselves, you know? Your biggest enemy is yourself. This is like actually like pretty much true, that you have like to face your own fears, your own like mind that's like sabotaging you or holding you back in order to like, you know, progress in life. That you have like to abandon things. give on things, or maybe like admit some of the things, you know, like guilt also, that make you like stuck in the past. Can be like totally fine to not address those things at all, you know. And just live. Like if no one sees a problem in that, it is not a problem. But in story writing, for example, it does free you from burden. And gives like the most satisfying ending. Like it's the most satisfying ending of a chapter in the storybook, you know. When you find it free from the guilt, for example. Of whatever you did. I for my part still like carry some guilt with me. Like things I did wrong. But it's really difficult to now apologize for those, you know. And probably will never get to the chance to. Even if there's like a statute of limitation, you know. If things have been like a long time ago. There were like things, everyone did like things wrong in their life, right? Everyone did like something of a oopsie, or like a really big oopsie, you know? I did like enough. And sadly, I cannot really like let go of some of those guilts, you know? So I do like think that every now and then I do deserve like bad things happening to me, you know? Why do bad things happen to people? Because we are human, you know? If that means that I lose like really good, big opportunities in my life. Not getting a high score at a certain game, for example. Or getting really bad gacha results or whatever. I do think it might be all part of that, you know. It could be just bad RNG, yes. But somewhere I think, yeah, I deserve that. Somewhere along the line. But, you know, karma as well. But even if bad things happen to me, I do like hope that the people I like do appreciate, you know. They don't have like bad things happening to them, you know. Sometimes I do like think maybe it's like better if I'm like a magnet for like unluck and like bring it away from them, you know. But sometimes good things do happen to me as well, you know, every now and then. But yeah. Let me color for now. I'm gonna do it basic with basic colors for now. We're gonna like, see what I can do later on. Oh man, my tea is cold. I didn't touch it for hours. Oh gosh. I'm a little bit sick, by the way. Now the canvas is too big. I can't like make it small. Change canvas size. Okay, I can color for now. Let's try. I have the reference. Like, if you're not familiar on how she looks like. The character sheet is this here. She has been drawn and designed by Oshio sensei. Pretty cute. And I basically like drawing her like in my style in a sense. You see on the left side some samples, yes, but I decided to like go like a little bit more serious. Serious. Yeah. Also like pretty like okay, fine with like the line weights on some things. I probably need to still like adjust like that. I do love using the lines. I do like love to apply more lines. It comforts me for some reason. I could like really adjust it like to something more normal, but I guess like the only thing I need to work on is like maybe my coloring at this point, because yeah, it's pretty low level. Then we're gonna check like some guides. Like recently, when I look like through arts social media, there are a lot of like Chinese artists, and the art is really good, like regarding color and everything. And I do be like curious what they do there differently. And even like the donghua, you know, Chinese anime, like To Be Hero X. Phew, like visually it's like pretty cool. So yeah, I do like wonder if I can like actually like implement some of their things, techniques into what I currently do. Probably I can, you know. That's just like always like about the time thing. I don't really have time to like grind art badly. I do like the weekly things, you know, just to not get rusty at all. Maybe learn something along the way. But yeah, there are limits of that as well. There are like limits. I could start with her eye color, I suppose. And then gonna look up some guides. I have a little bit of a step-to-step like how I draw eyes. Maybe I could like, I don't know. Well, let's see. Oh, there's too much lines in the okay. There are too many lines. I'm gonna start off with her eyes, I suppose. Usually, I don't need to draw the eyes really, it's just like a white blob in the chibi thing. But here, I need to adjust. Coloring the eyes. I think this was like one of my most fun things to do in art. Things I had like a lot of fun with. How does it look like? Yeah, I'm just starting. It looks like I'm just starting. Okay. And then what? Do you koto? Yeah, one thing why it's like a little bit slower is like because you also have to illustrate the eyes. I illustrate the eyes as well. Like, you know, like make like look really anime-ish, you know. This is like what can take extra time. So yeah, SD super deformed style is pretty fast. Hands down. It's pretty easy. Now you can see it, wonderful. Not really well, but you can see it. What do you do here now? Well, I try what I can. Try what I can. Do what I can. Yeah, not so bad, I suppose. And also the eyeshadows and everything. Do not forget about that, and then should be like alright. Not sure which kind of layer I should use for that. A bit of a warmer tone would be likeあ、すごいでしょ。それは。And also the eye white. I forgot about that. Eye white. But it shouldn't be like pure white. Yeah, not so bad. For a beginner artist. Alright. So bad. Hello, MQ. Welcome back. I'm here now in the calling process. I'm like, what 2 hours in? Holy crap. Yeah. Did you you're a beginner? Yeah, I can introduce myself as that. Beginner artist, self-proclaimed. Oh, by the way, it's motions with the cues. Magtikons. Motions T. How do you pronounce that? It could also be like Mac, you know, it's like with McQueen, you know, McDonald's, right? It could also be like a nice nickname. And actually there are like some actual names that have like McDonald's in it, you know. Richard McDonald's also. But they have nothing to do with like McDonald's actually. That's called emotions. I see. Someone took your name and you have like to go like something cheap like that. But there are also like tricks on like using a 0 as you know, it's using numbers as like, you know, the name, right? M0, T, and 0, something like that. I guess like every combination was like given, right? And then you had to go something like that. Kind of like, it's like getting 2nd place or like 3rd place, you know? You had to get creative with the username because everything is taken, oh gosh. No matter how creative you are, there's always someone better than you. It's the moral of the story. Always someone who's like faster than you. Ah, yeah. But I understand that. But yeah, I'm a beginner. I did draw for a decent amount of time, but if it comes to like digital art, I still see myself as someone who has to learn still. Who still is like not familiar with a lot of stuff. So when I like able to like color eyes like that, you know, I feel like, yeah, not bad for a beginner, you know. Pretty okay. But also like humbling myself and everything, you know, not being like, haha, I'm the best artist ever, you know, I did something small like that. Pretty okay. But yeah. I do like Mactions. Though it's kind of memorable, yeah. Usually like names have a lot of like E, I, O, like, you know, those kind of like things of the alphabet in the name. But if it's like really to a low amount that the pronunciation is gonna like sound whack, yeah, it gets like memorable, I suppose. Like there are many people like called Bob, many people like, you know, like with similar name that were like easy off the tongue, you know. But if they're like names that like say a little bit out, yeah, I guess. I mean, like, I looked up, did sometimes like ego search regarding like my name, and yeah, I guess it's unique. Like, there are not many people like that out there. Sometimes there are like some sentence language, you know, that have like for some reason like Tosan and then you, and then for some reason it has like a different meaning than like the weep kind of meaning I gave it to myself, you know, like Japanese, right? But yeah. I also do digital art. Is true my profile pic. Motions, if I put all caps, then it's easier to read. I see. Yeah, the Q looks like similar to an O. I suppose that's what makes it easier, yes. I can see that. But if it's just like in small letters, then you can read as a Q. And it's like where the pain begins, right? Ah, no, don't call me like that! That's not how it's supposed to be read! Oh my baka! But it looks kinda annoying, so I don't put it all caps, lol. Yeah. So you can make the arguments in like no caps, you know? I'm serious, bro. That's also like a way to like approach that. But hey, cool that you're tolerant in that regards, you know. Some people would be like pretty stubborn, you know. And then that's like what's how they're gonna be remembered, you know. But to be honest, like names are like a first step. And making people like remember you. It's like where like, you know, starts. Phew, how do I do that? So this character design works with a lot of gradients there. I'm gonna like see what I can do here. I'm gonna use a lasso. Then erase where I don't need it. Or like draw over it where I don't need it. Something like that. Something like that. By the way, is this an OC? From the way I talk like during the stream. Talking like about a person. Talking about someone. And then drawing someone, you know. I guess this is the conclusion people can come up with. Do I look like... Do I have the impression that I can come up with like such a beautiful character design? I'm not sure, you know. Could be a genuine question, but... No, she is not. This is Amane Kanata. She's a VTuber. I'm not her mama. I'm not the creator of like who make her look like this. Responsible is like Oshio Sensei, Japanese artist. Amane Kanata has been like active for like 6 years. I started like actively like my YouTube drawing and everything like around 2 years, 3 years ago. So there's like a kind of, you know, contradiction there. When you do like a little bit of research with like, you know, the stream title chat and try Amane Kanata. Who's Amane Kanata? Do a quick Google search and then you're gonna find out who she is and who did draw her and everything. Like internet's like really useful in that regard on like debunking information. I could like lie to you now, but be like, yeah, I did that, I'm the genius behind that, and then you're like temporarily like the W, you know, but then later on, you know, it's like, Tosha, you liar, I hate you, and then I'm gonna, you know, under any comments, under every video, you know, I'm gonna get like all the hate waves, right? I could do that, you know, but the thing is like, man, you really get points up for that. Okay, but she's gonna graduate at some within this year, so this means she will stop streaming activities altogether. And yeah, it's like one of the reasons why I'm like drawing her. It's also my first time drawing Amane Kanata. She has like a really beautiful design. Like when you go onto YouTube and see the thumbnail, it's very recognizable. It's like, you can like tell it's her. On Twitch you can see thumbnails, by the way, so yeah. It's just like what you see currently on stream. Like, if you don't know who Amane Kanata is, then you don't like watch Hololives, I suppose. Maybe you heard it about like once or twice, you know. Maybe you like heard about the shark VTuber Gorgora, you know, like 4 million subscribers, the most subscribed VTuber, for example. But she's like also not streaming as Gorgora anymore. She's like not active. She stopped her streaming activities like in Hololive, you know. So she's like retired. Like graduated means like retired from streaming activities in a sense. Like the saving is like comes from Japan. Oh, thanks on info. Just listen to me. You can't just listen to me, boy, girl, or something like that. The thing is like I talk like about the past 2 hours more or less. Maybe like 50%, 70% or so that you hear it now. It's like better late than never, but yeah. But at least you know for now, you know, if you like come across like anything you see on the left side, something similar on stream, or like what I'm currently trying right now, be aware this is not AOC, this is like based on an existing character. They're not from anime also, or manga. They're like VTubers, they're streamers with like anime-ish avatar. And I talk like about how special this girl here is. Like, in regards on like that I love people who work their asses off, you know? And she had like a really big handicap, a really big thing that could be considered a bad starter hand, you know? But she still played with that starter hand, you know? And be successful. Iron Mouse, maybe you heard about her, biggest Twitch VTuber, you know? Has also something like a handicap, like that, really horrible starter hand. Has like some kind of disease, some kind of like thing going on with her. That she can't go outside, that she can die if she like makes contact with like the outside world. Like her immune system's like really weak. Something like that, right? To be honest, I don't like know how did you come across my stream in the first place if you're not even interested, you know? The thing is like YouTube, it recommends like people like, hey, you might like this stream, you know? Something like that. But I don't know how it works for Twitch. Like, no way I'm like on the starter page, right? Like when you have open Twitch, I'm like there in the top 10 or whatever. You probably searched for random art streams and then you come across mine, but it's like kind of weird to like look up for smaller streamers like that, to be honest. I must like be honest, really. It's really weird. Unless you're like interested in what I draw, you know, I do not expect like people random Twitch trios, you know, mostly like bots, anything. And for the most part, I'm like this guy in the car, you know, and be like squinting my eyes, you know, and be like, you are bots, but I can't prove it, you know? So yeah, I'm pretty like, you know, I think like it's sus, you know? Not that there's anything to gain from like trolling like a small streamer, you know? Like who has like 1 viewer, 0 viewers, you know, but on Twitch, you know. But yeah. For the most part, I talk like about what I enjoy. And some people are like really disconnected and then yeah. They don't get what I mean. But it's like also like fine. But you're gonna listen to me if you keep the stream open. You're gonna see, experience, hear like about something new, like something outside of your horizon, you know. And if you ever come across that thing, then you have like at least like ability to like a little bit with that as well, you know. Like people talk like about, I don't know, like Warhammer or like animation or like about a certain game or like politics. Okay, politics maybe not, it's like the best thing, but you can like at least like, you know, be part of the conversation maybe, you know. Oh, I heard that about a certain streamer, you know. And the character, this person has like this disease, right? But still she's successful, has like millions of subscribers and everything. I really like the hard work they put in there. Something like that maybe, you know. I purposely go from lowest to highest art stream because I feel relaxed with less people. But actually go into like streams you're interested in, you know, like, or like characters that are like drawn. Like my title's like clear enough, you know. Chat and draw Amane Kanata. If you have no clue. And the thing is like in art streams, you know, streamers will probably talk about the character they draw. People gonna talk about art, and you have to be ready that this is like what's be the program, you know. Like it's like for a certain target audience, you know. If they if you go like to I draw furries art stream, you know, they're gonna maybe talk about their furry kind of obsession, you know. Then it's also like, you know, and then I don't know. But yeah, you do you. It's just like a little bit weird for me that I like But I think like it's not the first time I experienced that. You do you. If you like start watching VTubers because of me, wonderful. The thing is like Kanata, she can't hear in one ear. She has like a disease called many or so. It's like uncurable. She will, for her whole life, not be able to hear on one ear. And like things like treatment that she can like do to suppress it, you know, because there are like side effects like dizziness and like and that like mentally mess her up, you know, that she like can't focus and everything, and like that she feels unwell, something like that. And she had like to bear with that like for years. She's like for 6 years active, like as a streamer and idol and Hololive. Hololive is something like Japan, like AKB47, but they also like stream, there'll be like funny comedians, you know, entertainers, something like that, you know. And she worked her ass off, you know, and this really made us appreciate her, you know. And besides, even though she has like this big handicap, not being able to hear one ear, and she has like the side effects of mid-ear, you know, like this disease there where she can't hear one ear. She is one of the best singers, one of the best voices in like whole life. She has a wide range of like for like her vocals. She can do like voice imitations, you know. She can like skinwalk like some of her fellow gen mates, like other VTubers like her in whole life, you know. And she has amazing grip strength. She's like a gorilla. Like the average grip strength is like I think 15-20 kilograms, but hers like 50 kilograms or so. She's like basically a gorilla, you know. She can give her an apple, she can like crush them one-handed or so. She's like you know, she has like a bad starter hand in some way, but she makes up for it, you know, with like how entertaining, how skilled she is, you know. And she's like a sweet girl as well. She's like really thoughtful. Like when she had like her announcement for graduation, like that she will retire, you know. Usually like things like that is like a goodbye. It's like pretty sad, and people like start speculating, whose fault is that? Is that the fault of companies? Did she has a boyfriend also? What is the reason? Is she married? But she was like pretty clear on like what's happened, you know, and it's like pretty sweet, so that there are like no misunderstandings and everything. And she will not return to like being a streamer as well, like continue as Amane Kanata as this cute kawaii character, you know, because she has like this handicap, I think. And with how the work culture currently is in Hololive, it's like impossible for her to like keep up a healthy schedule, you know. So, and she will not like continue like afterwards, like even if she leaves the company, she's not gonna continue like streaming. It's like kind of like sad. Yeah, you can like watch clips of her. Like she's a streamer, yes, it can like be hours long of like stuff, and she's been active for 6 years, so you can't binge it like anime, you know. Anime is like 20 episodes, you know, and it's like at some point you're like done. Even One Piece is like easier to catch up in like VTuber streams, you know, but you can watch clips like the small little tidbits, moments, and everything. And now she's an anime character, she's a real person, you know, but streams with an anime avatar, you know. And it just like shows how far people can go without showing their face. They're like people like PewDiePie, they're like Ludwig, Mr. Beast and everything, you know, but people can make it far without showing their face, you know, with like being anonymous. You know, we will never know who the person is behind that character, unless you kind of like go like some really underhanded way, you know, like hacking and everything, or like stalking their account, looking for any hints, you know, be like a no liver, you know, who has no free time, who has like enough free time, you know, can't like spend on anything better, you know. The thing is, like, some people want a private sphere, you know, they don't want like to have like the pain of like being a star, you know. And it's like what we should respect, like their private sphere. They're just like like entertainers there to entertain us, to like fill or create days, you know. Even though she was like really handicapped, she is like really handicapped. She did her all, now she can't anymore. And it's like something I respect. A lot of people respect. That's like why I draw her. It's like one way you can support people, you know? Besides leaving a like, besides leaving a follow on the social media, or like subscribe on the YouTube, you know, you can also draw fan art. Some people like drop donations, or like super chats YouTube, you know, how you call it. There are many ways to support them. She also has like concerts here and there every now and then people go there, buy the tickets, buy her merch, you know. She's an idol. It's like amazing. But they all do in whole life. True, it killed the mysterious. Face reveal kills the mysteriousness. Yes, 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 yes. Like, there are like pros and cons, of course, when you're like famous and everyone knows your face, but some people don't want that, you know? So, it's like cool, like, being a streamer who is like streaming for anime avatar, and then it also like means that you like attract like otakus, you know? It's like this kind of culture in Japan, but I think it has like its benefits. They're like pro and cons, but the pros outweigh the cons for me. Like, for my case, I'm also like streaming with like anime avatar, but for Hololives' case, they actually move. They have a live 2D. You know, they move around, they open their mouth, they change expression. It's like with anime, right? And sometimes they're in 3D even, you know? When they can express themselves even more, they can like dance even, you know? They can do like, can you show the middle finger or whatever, you know? Something like funny things like that, you know? Like, not so idol-like. But yeah, that's about it, you know? But as long as we keep them in memory, they're not really dead, you know? They will still live on. And it's just like a memory in mind that of like happy times. So yeah. That's like one reason I draw her here. Now you have this kind of background, you know, lore, you know, on her. A little bit. It's like not everything, but you know, it can suffice, right? So like now a little bit about Amane Kanata. If you're interested, you can like watch clips. If you don't have time, also understandable. Just like, you know, this person existed. Oh, by the way, I'm also sketching right now. I went to zoo earlier, so I'm sketching a rhino, lol. Really random, okay, but sure. By the way, I have chat rules. I'm not sure if you like read them, you know. Some people skip them, you know. And just to lurk. Or like promote whatever they want, you know. Like, hey yo, hot single moms in your area. Come check in, you know, and then yeah, whatever. I think I know how this works. There's also a lot of gradients, you know. Gonna like see how they make this work. Like this and this. Man, this is a really interesting design. Oshio sensei. So I need the lasso. And then I can put on the white lines over there. Sometimes mods do a good work good job of like disabling like those, or you know, blocking like those things. But the things like I'm like, you know, for Twitch like kind of things like a small streamer. Ads are activated there in Twitch, by the way, so there's like somehow where I can get my revenue when like some random people like decide to show up, you know. But on YouTube, by the way, there's like nothing like ads there. I don't earn money usually from streaming. But the thing is like also like Twitch is not really a good platform to stream on, you know, but while it's like still there, you know, you can like abuse it in a sense, right? Like, I'm not really a fan of like Twitch, I must like say. It's like cool that you found me there, but yeah. And the emotes, by the way, you use, they're like pretty outdated. They haven't like updated in like 3 years. I like appreciate that you use points at that to like show a little bit of the actions here and there, but tomorrow, you know, I post like schedule on like YouTube, on like my Twitter, not only my Twitter, only on YouTube. And I'm gonna throw like emotes there, like to like update those. Technically I can also like open memberships on YouTube, you know, and like have the emotes as well, but gonna like see when I like open them at some point. Thing is like also that shouldn't be just be like for emotes or like exclusive posts, but actually like, you know, give like them people like something worth of money, like to like do every month their subscription. It's like a little thing about like when you're like a streamer, you know. When you do this as a hobby, yeah, but there's also like some logistics here and there to like think about. You know, do it at the very least like right. Okay, this works. Okay, talking sometimes about that again, commenting on like what I do currently on stream. Can I try her ribbon? It's like covered up by the hands, but I could like try her ribbon. It's like big enough actually. It's like a ribbon around this area here. Really big one. Just for the sake of it, to like make it look better as a full artwork, I'm gonna implement it now. I should have like included from the beginning, but yeah, sometimes you have like this oversights. There's a lot of gradients I have to work there with, so gonna be something I have to be like, I'm like busy with. I feel I could like make the ribbon like more oversized. And regarding colors, I need to adjust here and there. Hello, welcome to YouTube. Maktukins. Okay, not like reading like emotions, right? I'm gonna read it like how it's written. YouTube is way better. I don't know why Twitch is so laggy. Yeah, I don't know. Thing is, like, when you do go over Twitch, when there's like less delay, then there's like more real-time interaction, I suppose. But because of this kind of like data processing can be like worse for some people. Some don't like run a PvPC for that. But yeah, it seems like you went on the about page, like see what channels were available, you know. So good on you, like going that far just to like find that channel here. And there's so many gradients. And here also. And here as well. I'm not really the best illustrator. But yeah, when I have a design there, I try my best to make it justice. I just searched up drawing on Twitch and found someone I could talk to. I like your streams, by the way. It's not about skill or anything. I might be one of the low percent who enjoy this type of content. Oh gosh. I got a weird person here, let's go. But yeah, also like I appreciate that you're like a chatter here. I don't always like get people in there. I say like I don't always get. Maybe like at the very least like in every stream like most of the times like 70% like one, but the 30% is like it's like pretty silent, you know. It gets lonely. Sabishi yo. Sorry, wa? Sabishi. But yeah. But I'm able to talk to nothing, to be honest. I'm able to entertain myself. I guess like when I like watch streams myself, I'm already like past 500 subscribers, by the way, on YouTube. But yeah, even if I like watch other streams, you know, I'm a lurker, you know, and I'm just like here to have like something in the background, to listen to something. If it's Japanese stream, then, you know, I can like learn some vocabs, you know, hopefully. I can like learn something, but if they're like silent the whole time, it's also like not the best, right? For me. Means like you don't listen, you don't get to hear about any interesting topics, you don't get to hear about what they're into. If it's like a foreign language stream, you know, you are not able to like listen to like about any new vocabs, you know. Even if you like can't understand everything, it's like better than nothing, you know, for my case. There's like always a dilemma with like stuff, like entertainment. For my case, I don't have really a problem like talking, to be honest. I do like talking. But it's like something I had like to learn, to be honest, over time. Of course, watching art is like interesting, right? Watching art is interesting. can be interesting. But the thing is, like, with like the age of like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, you know, the attention span gets like worse and worse over time. So I'm not quite sure if people have like the patience to like stick by for like hours, you know, even like 30 seconds, a minute or so, to like listen to someone. I saw like this kind of clip with like Markiplier, you know, like trying to teach someone, but like, oh, here's the shiny clock, you know, look at it, listen to me, you know, and like every like 10 seconds or so. It was like, I think like with a cat or so, like in combination, like something like that. That there's like kind of the meme that you need like to have like somewhere in the bottom screen like Subway server like running so that they're not gonna, you know, click off or so. And yeah, it's like something, yeah, I guess, you know. You play Umamasume. The game is goated. Yeah. The process is fun. I'm here right now because we are both basically trying. It's like trying buddy. Okay. But don't interrupt you every single time, you know. Like when you chat, you like have at least like one hand away from your drawing thing, you know. And text-to-speech is not always reliable. Sometimes you're gonna say something, phrase something wrong, and then still like gets processed by the text-to-speech, you know. So yeah, I assume like people like writing. I did like watch some streams, you know, like just to draw alongs with like, you know, my Inanis from Hololive English Myth, you know, and would draw along. I wouldn't necessarily chat, you know. There were like some gesture draw alongs of like, you know, like with like 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, you know, and then I was just like fully focused on like that. There were like some who didn't draw, but you know, they would like fill in the blanks, you know, for those who can't because they're like locked in focus on drawing, you know. That's like that. Just like that. I'm not sure like how viable my art streams are like for draw alongs, but if you can use it, I guess there's like potential. Hehe. Sorry, my bad. I get excited and change topic immediately. Yeah. ADHD, I suppose. I'm not really familiar with that, but I guess there are like cases that where people have like difficulty to like stick to one topic, you know. They get distracted like easily. Like people like see a butterfly outside and it takes like about, I don't know, 1 minute, 2 minutes till when they like can like focus back on their work, you know. There are like things like social media, for example. People like go in there, like one thing, and they see like a rage bait kind of post. They don't want to see that or scroll, and they see like the next thing, you know. It's like with YouTube Shorts, like TikTok as well, I suppose, you know. Hey, you like this video? Here's more. And then you lose a lot of time. It can like not be like 2 minutes or so. Can be like 15 minutes, 30 minutes or so. You lose a lot of time. Like get back on the right track. ADHD people I've heard, it's like pretty horrible. I'm not sure like if some of you have like that kind of thing. Like some of the gamers who watch me, you know, they have this issue. It can be like a curse, it can also be like a powerful buff, you know, in terms of creativity. But yeah, they're also like the cons can be like kind of hard to like get used to. Not that I have like any difficulties like that, I believe. For the longest time I didn't have like internet and I was very productive. But now that I have access to it, I see also like the dangers and everything. took like some time to like, you know, recognize that. When I say like time, you know, and have the experience, I'm kind of implying that I'm like old. Next week is I'm getting like 1 year older, so I have like a birthday countdown stream, I suppose. I'm gonna put our schedule there, that you kind of expect like when this is. I'll probably do a hand cam stream and like show like old art I like that. Like I drew like on pen with pen paper, and I did like during school, for example, like I did draw a lot. I did have like some manuscripts. I had like some wannabe manga projects and everything. They were not really good, but I can like show you a little bit. How as good like as the webcam can like capture things. It's like kind of a cheap one, but it's better than showing nothing, right? And maybe this will be enough time to entertain you until, you know, it's actually my birthday, and then I cannot show you something cool. But I'm just a little guy, you know, I do what I can. Some people don't do anything special on their birthday, which is also like okay. For me it's like usually a normal day as well, like with birthdays, but webcam stream will be fun, yeah. I do like a hand cam, like I'm not showing you my face or anything, you know. You see my arms, you see like hands and like in clothes and everything, but what's important is like, you know, that you see I'm alive, that I'm actually like, you know, a living being. And some things can like be better shown like in real life rather than like on stream, you know, with like 2D. Like I could like take a photo of every single page I like drew, I could scan them, but the effort of that, you know, if you imagine like how much work that will be compared to just showing it on camera, you know, you see like why I would like go to webcam. But yeah, I drew like a long time, I suppose, but I'm still not a pro. I'm pretty good at like drawing with pen paper, analog style, but when it comes to digital art, coloring, I have my limits. Like it doesn't look bad, right? But when you think like about how long I have drawn, then yeah, I'm like somewhat stagnating. I did like give up a lot of times in my art journey. I didn't like draw for months, you know. And if you don't like pick up for something a long time, you do get worse. It does not look bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not horrible, you know. But draw like for more than a decade, you know. And you expect like it should be like pro level, but it's actually not, you know. The thing is like when you go from analog drawing to like digital drawing, you have to relearn drawing. You can still like take over some ornaments from here and there to like the new field, but you know, it's still like, yeah, it hits different. And if I stream, my drawing progress just I'm like a lot slower actually, since I'm like talking. I'm distracted somewhat, but also I'm processing my emotions, feelings and everything with that. What was that layer? This layer, okay. What is this? This layer. What is that? Oh, okay, this is something new. Then here can I apply shadows? Yeah. I feel like people overestimate the amount of time they have been drawing. I would only calculate the time I study art, not the whole time I drew. I drawing a year ago, studying 2. Yeah, everyone has like their own kind of growth, their own speed, how they go. Like PewDiePie, for example, right? He has a good eye for art, even though he technically did 1 year, you know, like with his videos he like posted on his art journey. It like kind of shows that he's like kind of gifted, you know. But it also like gives hope to like people, you know, that they can do it too, you know, as well. Also inspired a lot of people. At least I saw like some kind of artists like whining. I call it like whining, you know. He's rich, he has money, that's why he's so good. But from my own experience, I do think it has nothing to do with like if you're rich or so. Back in the days, I had no internet. I couldn't like look up references. I couldn't like check for reference sheets of like a character, you know. I drew like completely with pen and paper. And what I could like use for references were like some books I bought from library, you know, manga. Look at like how the pros did that instead of like, you know, having access to like how to draw and then they explain you everything, you know. I didn't have internet, I could like look at the internet as well, so I had like handicap, but I still like drew like almost every day back in the days, you know. I had like a lot of like pages drawn. Like every day I would like at least like fill a page or so. At least, or like half a page, yeah. I pretty much like the process of that. But if you draw like daily, you can get burnt out really easily. So like, and if you get older, you will have less and less time for hobbies. I underestimated that, you know, when my senseis, my teachers, my masters would like say that to me. But once I got like a trainee, once I got like a full-time job, I'm not in school anymore or anything, you know, I really like saw, holy crap, I don't have time anymore. And I play Uma Musume, you know, I play Blue Archive, like gacha games take a lot of time away. I stream, I play trending games or games I enjoy, like currently I'm playing Silksong, you know. Yeah, you don't really have much time for drawing, and then I also watch VTubers, you know, I watch other streams. There's not enough time in the day, there's not enough hours, you know. It's a struggle to like keep up with everything. I can like draw like every week like 1 time, minimum. I have a little bit more time, you know, that I could like fit in 2 or 3, you know, when I have vacation, but it's still like a struggle. Like, life is like hard. But at the very least, you know, I can like somewhat use my art skills, you know. You can draw, you can do thumbnails, you can draw emotes, you can draw yourself some funny little guy in the bottom right, you know, and have like some impressions. Yeah, but it's like all good, you know. True, I wish I didn't have to sleep a lot, I would have whole 24 to do something. Yeah, but I do like think we are blessed that we can like sleep, you know, that we can like actually restore and process informations that went through our whole day. Like a lot of people like think about, it's like, you know, you're like a battery, you know, and you can recharge your battery. It's like more like a generator, you know, that gives you energy and everything. And you have like to turn it on, and that's like via sleeping, you know. And the longer you sleep, the more restful it is, you know, the better. There are like things like circadian rhythm, you know, you can like use. You know, if you like go to sleep every day at the same time, then your sleep is getting really, it's a lot of quality, you know. and then can give you the needed energy. When I was young though, when I was a teenie, you know, I skipped on sleep. I had like things like manga projects in mind, you know. I wanted like to try like, do you know like Shueisha? Do you know like Shonen Jump? Like things like Blue Lock, Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto, One Piece. They release like their manga chapters every single week. It's like minimum 15 pages or so. Like manga are like 15 pages, and action are like 20, 30 or so. But some series like Dragon Ball or like Gintama start off a comedy, and then they stick like to the 15 pages, you know, like minimum. And at some point they develop to action stories, but still can like keep the 15 pages minimum, right? So something like that. And you just look like at like 2 to 3 drawings each day. 2 pages, you know, 2-3 pages. And this is like pretty hard to like do, especially alone. I tried like to do something like that, you know, like with like a 4 pages kind of series each week. And I couldn't pull it off. I had like to skip on my sleep, you know, sacrifice sleep, or like sleep like very little, just to keep it up for like 1 month. And I didn't die because I was young, you know, but it was still not healthy, you know. And I saw like how difficult it is in it, and especially if the reception is like not big, you know, you have like 0 people who like support you, or just like 1, you know. 1 could be enough, but depending on how pessimistic you are, it can be really crushing the reality, like how lucky you must be, and that you really need publishers like Shueisha to carry you, you know, so that your hard work pays off. So sometimes you have to bend the knee to them, you know. Sometimes you can't like write about things you enjoy. But they'd be like, hey, can you change that? Oh no, this is way too gory. Could you adjust it so that it's like, you know, more accepted, you know? You can't like draw a porn like in the middle of like, you know, like you can't like express everything. You can't be like creatively free with everything, you know? There are like some rare cases like the One Punch Man mangaka, the web mangaka, you know? The guy called One, you know? Who can find success like that, you know, but it's still like, you know, you have to be lucky. Or like work very, very hard. And I kind of like saw like, you know, it's like kind of coming of age, you know, you're so optimistic, you're like so full of energy, and then you try the thing, and then it's not like how you thought it would be. Especially if you're alone, you know. It needs like a lot of experience to like power through it, you know. A good plan as well. To like not burn out. I didn't have the experience back then, you know. I didn't have the support as well. This was like kind of a point where I like kind of gave up on drawing. For yeah, like years. I think around COVID or so. 1 or 2 years. But when I watched like Hololives, you know, there was like the streamer called Nina My Inanis. And there was like something about her soft-spoken but also witty kind of humor, you know. And when she drew, was really relaxed, and she was like pretty fast, really skilled, you know, and I drew along. Then she did like gesture draw along as well. And I kinda like, you know, discovered like how fun it could like be, you know, like drawing. Again. When back in the days, you know, like I was on the grind, I wanted to be like, yeah, I want to make money out of that, you know. It can really burn you out. But you don't do it for fun anymore, you know. You try to like make it as a, you know, if you give up on it as a hobby. I also wanted to be better as well, and then the kind of pressure of like those kind of worlds, they can like crush you. I'd be like careful. If you take commissions for it, I guess this can also be okay, but it can also be like hard to like deal with expectations, like, oh man, did I do it right? Are like happy with that, you know? I'm like charging too much, I'm like scamming them, you know? There are like a lot of things to like about that kind of field. I don't take commissions, by the way. I did like for a while, but then I kind of didn't like that. I figure that could be like good for emotes, you know, what you see like on the left side for samples. Usually I draw like this every single art stream. Almost every single art stream. Man, it takes me 3 hours. It takes me about 2 to 3 hours when I do like chibi art style. But like usually about 2 hours. Even if it's the first time I draw them. If I'm like really locked in, I'm like not distracted, then it can be even 1 hour, you know. Sometimes I did like 1 hour challenges or so, like wondoro, what the Japanese people call it. I could like see, I can like do in 1 hour a lot regarding art. But if I were to like do like something a little more special, you know, and I'm like very nitpicky with the quality, then yeah, it will be like something that takes like a little bit more time. Speaking while arting so hard, I respect you. Yeah. The thing is, like, when I draw on stream, I'm like slower, actually, because I'm distracted. Like, because I talk. But to be honest, it's like not... I don't see it as a bad thing, because I can relax, actually. I'm not like burning out, to be honest. I'm like taking it slowly. And I can continue with my talk. While also like, you know, progressing here with the art. Like, you saw it like for about 2 hours, like, it's just like black and white, and I drew the lines and like look already good, but now they're like colors and everything. I work like in the last hour on, you know, while like keep talking. It can be like pretty boring if it's like silent. I don't have that much patience there, I'm like honest. Like with a lot of Japanese streamers, Japanese artists there will like stream. If it's like a VTuber though, there can be like a little bit more, there's like a little bit more back and forth, you know, sometimes. But for the most part, they're all locked in. They're all locked in. If it's like a stream where they kind of explain things, you know, look at this art, let me fix it, you know, give me advice, I give you advice. Like they're like artists like that. Then it can also be interesting, you know, like regarding backgrounds, helping you with that. I think like besides hands, some people have like difficulty with like drawing backgrounds. At least like making like look good, you know. When I would like draw in a manga style, like analog style wise, I didn't really have trouble with that. But the thing is, like, if you go like to 3D, you know, I can't use like a ruler on there really, like physically, it's like not really possible. So I have like to work with like what the program offers me, and I'm not really used to that. yet. So it's like also like kind of like weird and whack to try to adjust to that, you know. And for the most time when I draw like backgrounds, I like hand draw it, you know. I don't use like the ruler tool or so. Or like the line tools or so, whatever. It's like kind of like funny, you know. Even though you have like the real and drawing all the way when you go to digital art. There are also like ways where you can draw on a piece of paper and gets transferred to like real time to like the PC screen or like to the drawing program. There are like some special things like that. I saw like an Instagram ad about that. It looked like pretty cool. Actually, Instagram gives me really good recommendations, like ads there, compared to like Twitter also. I'm not really sure like if Instagram is really that good, you know. It's just like good for art posting, and then shows me like some related things. But sometimes I do like see the things like Temu, you know, like the scam site, you know, as well. And then yeah, so you always have to get up somewhere. But some things are like sponsored, you know, and then there are actual artists, you know, I follow, and then they show like the cool thing and be like, oh, okay, that looks believable, you know, and then hey, this is cool. And then I research, you know, for that, maybe like YouTube videos, you know, like people who tested it, and then just like to look if it's believable, if it's like a real thing, and then yeah. I think Clipsy has perspective rulers, yeah, but I'm like used to like things like Medibank, for example, before I like went to Clip Studio, and it doesn't like work quite the same. So I have like kind of troubles with like if I have to use like speed lines, for example, you know, then I just hand draw it, you know. I just like roughly pick a spot like there, mostly like the nose, because it's like a single dot sometimes, or like single line, and then like focus my hand drawn speed lines on that point sometimes. And then if I'm done with the speed lines, I take the layer of all the speed lines, move it around, transform it if I have to, and then this is like how it works. It's technically not correct, you know, because the speed lines are like hand drawn, really rough, you know. It's just like by feeling. Just use feeling, you know, instead of like accurature, you know. But yeah. How do you draw this kanji? Not ever. What's this color here? Let me try. Yeah, wings are a little bit colored. I'm not really sure how good this will look. If I'm not really happy with that, I'm just like gonna forget about that, but at least I've tried. It's like a thing in the design. I can forget about it. I don't really see the vision. Delete the layer. Yep. What's your favorite part about drawing? I don't know, what's yours? For me, I guess like it's the sketching part. I don't really, and like maybe coloring. I don't like to do line art, to be honest. I skip that part altogether. The lines are really dirty if you zoom in at everything, but if you like scroll on social media and then you see that, for example, or like the samples on the left side, you know, it doesn't look horrible, right? It's not bad. It's not like a pro art, by the way. But even like pro artists, they have like some dirty lines here and there. Especially if it's like multiple people and on one picture. But yeah, I think like the parts of like the beginning and the ending are like really interesting to me. The thing is like about to create this stuff, you know, seeing your vision taking form and then like kind of drifting away from that imagination and creating something that you can like currently do. Like let's say the beginning and the ending, you know, like of the art process, like the sketching and then the coloring. And then it's like, you know, I guess personally for me the favorite things. But just like, you know, I think the humble beginnings are always interesting for me. I don't know, like for a lot of people when they do sketches, they like the sketching a lot more than the line art, because when you do sketch, this can be like the rough outline, they can like do the shadow part already, they can give like some little depths here and there on the drawing, you know. Like those dirty lines here on her hair, they could look like additional details or like shadow, you know. And this can make like somewhat special, you know. I pretty much like that. So that I kinda like dislike it if I have like to erase that and just like go to normal line art, you know. There are also like tricks to like make the sketch more line arty without like redrawing the whole line art. I saw like things like that, like tutorials. I haven't utilized them at all, by the way. But I did bookmark them somewhere, and then if I think about it, I might look it up, you know, try to apply it. But yeah, so far I never got that far. But I have to step off my comfort zone at some point if I want to be faster regarding my art progress. Only I think sketching, studying different stuff like anatomy and animals law on posting social media is pretty motivating. Yeah? I don't know what you find motivating about it, but maybe it's like the thing with like my art 2025, when you have like for every month at least like one artwork, you know. It would be like pretty sad if there's like nothing at all in like 1 month. Oh, I make sketches like those. I start from line art. Okay, yeah. Well, everyone has like different kind of opinions. Some people, they do like every kind of process there. Some have just a difficulty with hands also. Like everyone's like different and their approach there. When I get likes or even a single comment, it makes me so happy. Yeah, it makes me happy too. By the way, sometimes I draw like, you know, I draw like the characters, the VTubers, you know. I draw a fan art of them. There's one way to support them, but sometimes they can use your art for like their schedule. They shout out you, but you get more likes and comments. Or just likes in general, like interactions. Sometimes they use your art for thumbnails, you know? The thing is like when you draw, you can make your thumbnails, you know? But if they don't have time or they don't draw, when they get all the lovely fan art, they can use it for thumbnail purposes, you know? Or even for their projects or whatever. And if they use your art, your fan art of them, it's pretty cool. This is something anime, waifus and husbandos cannot do. They're just fiction, but VTubers with anime you know, avatar. They can do that. They can help you. It's like a back and forth, you know? It's not one-sided, it's like, you know, back and forth. Some people did draw fan of me as well. And I felt like really warm fuzzy for some reason, you know? It's like, oh, this is how they must felt, you know, the VTubers. When they get like fan art drawn of them. And maybe now I understand like how their parents feel when their little kid comes like towards them when they have drawn like some stick figures like from mom, dad and the kid, right? Something like that. That's you, mama. That's you, papa. And that's me. Look, we're all happy, you know? And sometimes they draw like the most horrific like kind of like drawing like in those horror movies, you know? And then sometimes it's like, no way a kid could have drawn that, you know? But yeah, sometimes it's like that, you know? I need to do this. I need to do this. Is need to make your fan art. I'm gonna read it like this. I'm not gonna correct you. But yeah, if you want to draw fan art, cool. I did like last year on my birthday countdown stream, like something like that, where I like look over all the fan art I've like gotten, comment on that, gave a shout out, you know. Like some VTubers did that. One VTuber did it with my fan art as well, or like actually two. Like one used that for like on Apex to like cover the map, you know, so that it can't get stream sniped. They use like my art and they give like comment about that. It was like from my Oshi, like one of my favorite streamers, VTubers, you know. And this was like something really nice. It gave like motivation, you know. If I ever feel down, I go back to this clip, go back to this moment and be like, oh, I'm happy again, you know? Yeah. They say like luck is short duration, which is true. But if you have like this kind of moment captured like forever, it's like special. Okay, how do I draw this? I'm not really sure what this kanji stands for. There's like something written on her armband, but I don't know like what it says right now. My kanji reading is like not that good. We're gonna try. Big line there. Could just copy it, but it's gonna try with the hand draw method. Posting on communities. I also post on someone art's YouTube channel community post, which gave me like 1k lines, lol. Lines? Yeah. Posting on communities is pretty fun. By the way, how long are you gonna be streaming for real? I think like about 4 hours is like what I will go for. Maybe like under 4 hours. Usually like when I draw what you see the samples on the left side, you know, it can take about 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. If I even go all out, like with lighting effect, backgrounds, you know, like make it like look really cool, then it can take like longer, you know. But if it's just basic, it can like really like take 1 or 2 hours. If you try the multiple characters, it can like take 3 hours, like on the bottom left, like for example. If I like draw in a rare case like this, and like try to make it like look special, even if the background is like white, you know, it can take like a lot longer. Especially if I'm streaming, it takes like, I'm like slower. If it's off stream, I might be like faster. I probably am faster. But the thing is like, as long as I stream, I'm not like listening to music, I'm not like having a video, a live stream like on at the same time. It means like I can focus. Not really focus, but my mind is not really abstracted, and I can let things go that are like stuck in my mind. I can like decompress. Like even the most patient person, they have like some things on their mind and they want to like let out. So someone helps me, you know, even if I get distracted and I'm like slowing down. It's like a win-win for me, I suppose. I think. Like when we're like done with the stream, I can look back at it and be like, yeah, look, I threw that. I got 1 new subscriber. Look, I have like 1 new chatter. Let's go, you know, something like that. Some people be like, stop drawing! Nobody likes your art! You know, something like that. It's like with this crying girl meme. When the Giga chat is like, today I got 1 like, you know. I did it for 1 person today, you know. The numbers are small, but you know. Sometimes you did it for no one, but you know, you can like pat yourself in the back and be like, today I did this, you know, I was productive this time, you know. The thing is like, you know, this year's gonna end. Can you feel it? The end of the year. It's December now. What have you accomplished so far? What have you accomplished? Did you accomplish anything at all? Huh? And if I look back, I can like say, it's true. I did art, I did stream. Entertained like at least one person for hours. And the same 1 person for like 10 minutes. Whatever, you know. Oh, I got like 1k likes. You know, like any small number, every little step can like mean something. Another 4 hours? No, I just like 4 hours in total. Like the stream has been like on for about 3 hours and 30 minutes. I'm gonna be here until your stream ends, trying along. Just do it for myself, share with others. Yeah, but still, even if you say that, everyone is like a number monkey somewhere deep inside. I'm not gonna buy that really. Everyone is like somewhat thirsty for like numbers, for like gaining fame and whatever. I'm somewhat to the extent too, but yeah. I would be like lying, but I'm not. But I try my best to not talk about as much as I can. I try to talk like about art. I talk like about the person I draw. I talk about anything that comes to mind. Sometimes bounce back and forth with chat, but I try like to keep it like on topic as well. You know, I can't be like the ADHD brainers. I need to stay consistent, you know. Okay. Some background would be nice, or like a little bit more colors. Maybe lighting. But let me like check if I overshot everything. Anything at all. There any clipping stuff? Let me apply this here. Okay, here I overshot something. Like here's some color sticking out. Okay, something like that. There. Yeah. Nobody will like notice it really, but it's just like for myself. keep it like right. Those are multiple layers, those colors that are like sticking out. I have to like switch back and forth. It takes like a while. You like want to do it right. But if I go like quick and dirty, then yeah, it's gonna be like quick and dirty. If I just like care about it, it's like done. Like some things like on Scrabble or like Gartic Phone, you know, where you just have to like do it in a time limit, and then, you know, like Batman for example, when you have like to draw something that resembles like Batman, you know. Like, it says like draw Batman, but for the most part what artists do, or like if it comes like to drawing hands, for example, they don't draw like necessarily accurately, but like it needs to be convincing, right? You think like with the shuriken, with the star thing on the head, I'm gonna give them a line weight. Oh, wrong color. Cotto matte. I'm gonna zoom in a bit more. Star looks so good. Now, if you zoom in closer and closer, you see how dirty all the lines are. But I learned like from analog drawing, like pen and paper, you know, like with manga drawing, that depending on where you apply more line weight and where less, it does help like with the overall impression of the picture, you know. If you draw like a character, like, you know, character focus one, then apply more line art to like around the face, like let's say like the outlines, but then also like the expression, like eyes, smile, the eyebrows, you know. That's like why some artists put a lot of emphasis on like the anime eyes, you know, like why the eyes are like really, really detailed. I didn't yet do like much there for now. But with the pony, I can like work a little bit more on pony, pony, pony. Okay, let me think. What can I do on background? I think the colors are a little bit... maybe shadows? Is it enough already? Can I apply lighting? There's not really a reason why I draw from this kind of angle, you know? There was like this kind of trend of like Frieren, for example, you know? Like where you draw like from this specific angle, right? Where Frieren's like looking upwards, you know? And then the chin has to be visible or something like that, right? But Kanata says something along the lines like when she has like the side effect of her Menhir, you know, that like she can't hear one ear, when there are like some nasty side effects of that she has like to reduce her screen time and then like looking at the ceiling for a long amount of time. I could have drawn it like a more frowny way, you know, but at the same time, you know, when you look upwards, I'm looking up, you know, that there's like a time for like a better, there's like a better time coming up, you know, where she can actually get to rest. There's like not really a lot of meaning, but I guess like one of the reasons why I like read like that. To be honest, everyone likes to look at like cute girls that are like happy or anything. But if I change it to a frown, let me see. Oh, that's not one layer. Not quite one layer. I did a mistake there. Dayo. If I don't really draw it like frown, not a smile but like a frown. Yeah. Yeah. And I keep it like that. The open mouth. They all look cute, yeah. She's always cute. She has like different outfits as well, and I like all of them. And she's Peta, by the way, she's flat. Flat chest VTuber. There was like a running gag with that kind of thing. So much so that she received like a alter, like a different, a bigger sister, you know, called Amane Kanata. And it was like one that looked like Maone-san with like big boobs. Obviously, like the person Kanata is like voicing her, you know, she has like the voice range. She's like really skilled in that. It was like an April Fool's bit, but you know, with her graduating means also we don't gonna see the April Fools with Amane Kanata again. Like, she will like graduate on the 27th December. This marks her like 6th anniversary, you know, like 6 years where she's gonna be active, where she was active in Hololive. And yeah, time passes really. I watched like Hololive since like 2019, by the way, so I was like almost the entire, you know, it's like it's like my VTuber watching streak, watching time. And yeah, kind of like yeah, I'm like continuing, but she's quitting, you know. It's like yeah, not okay. Let me see if I can like apply a little bit more of the colors here. Yeah, she is really big. She's really big. Not me, she. Kinda sad how she had to quit. Yeah. Oh, you're a really big fan? Well... Health. Health is like a thing. Goddamn health. Can't have like nice things. It's not only like health reasons alone, you know, but it's like one of the reasons why. But you know, people who have like handicap, who are like underdogs, and still like able to work hard, they give us hope, you know? They give hope. And when a streamer is able to do that, you know? There's like something like special, you know? not to like really dunk on Mr. Beast, for example, but when I watch his videos, I don't really get the message on like, I don't really get a positive message out of that. All it like contributed was like, hey, you entertained me for like 20-30 minutes, you know? I saw like the battle between like the strongest man on earth versus 100 kids, you know? For example, you know? Who would win this battle? Or when you're stuck for 30 days in a room, can you do it? If you can clear it, you get like a lot of money. And I don't really get hope. I don't really get like inspiration from that. There's no storytelling really. On like, you know, on like struggle, on like making to the goal, hard work and anything. You know, like there's not really much there. It's all about like a brand name with like sponsors, making money, optimizing stuff. The Mr. Beast kind of ish thumbnails, you know, with like the POC face or so. Like, you know, that's like more than just money and stuff. Watching this live is more fun for me than any Mr. Beast video. Oh, that's a compliment, thank you. His videos are so overstimulating, pure brain rot, yeah. This is not really... He doesn't really do bad videos, but you know, it's just like... It's entertaining, yes, but they don't really like give me a message, you know? They don't really teach me anything new. It's just like things that I could like watch on TV as well. I'm not really sure if like the people who like work on his videos have fun, you know? To be honest. It can be like kind of like subjective at this point, you know? But when I, for example, like watch the Japanese TV shows, they could have fun, but also people could like die inside, you know? It really depends on like your view of the world, how you like receive the messages. True, I think only people okay, I cannot read about this. I think only people who witch him are who are bored out of their minds, kids or just dumb people, which explains his high sub count. Yeah. It has like a certain target audience. And if you think about the lunch leaves, for example, he and two other content creators tried to do, there's like something about it, you know, like which tells a lot. Not hating on him or anything. I mean, his content is entertaining, but it's meant for the type of target audience. Yes, yes, yes. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah. The thing is, like, I get older, you know? I watch like things like harem comedy, for example, you know? Like anime with like the harem kind of thing. Like one guy, even a lot of waifus, you know? I was like this kind of guy, and I like the action sakuga stuff, you know? Like when people like fight and then they're like, wow, cool action scene, boom, boom, you know? Something like that. I watch like slop. Got shonen slop, also harem slop. But as I get older, you know, I have less and less time. I work a full-time job, I stream, I draw, I have like my own goals and aspirations, you know. And I need something. Sometimes McDonald's can be like good, you know, like so leveling, you know, it's like fast food, and like something cool, entertaining, you know. But sometimes I do like think I deserve like a 5-star meal with like you know, some appetizers, the main dish, and some dessert, you know, that are like well prepared, like let's say frieren, you know, that which mean like people consider as like the anime of the year, you know. It didn't get that, by the way, but yeah. But it's like that, you know, that things are like, depends on like the mainstream, how many people like look at things, jury, sponsors, you know, shareholders. It's like less and less about like us anymore. In some areas like gaming, however, we have like influence. We still have a voice here and there. It's like not really like doom and gloom. Like currently like with the gaming companies, for example, like in this kind of entertainment, Ubisoft is like self-reporting themselves, stepping their own landmines or so. Nintendo is greedy. Xbox is dead. PlayStation continues with its corporateness. But Valve, for example, does really good decisions nowadays, you know, and indie games are really like up out there, you know. Steam is like supporting that, those indie creators as well. And there's like hope that, you know, it's not like about the big numbers, about the big corporations, big brand names or so, that like small individuals can like do something, you know. The underdog actually, you know. We all like underdogs, right? Is actually able to make a change. Now while my friend group watches Mr. Beast, only his tips become a good YouTuber food. To be honest, I don't really believe in YouTube gurus really. Like those can be like pretty much bait. It can have like some kind of truth here and there, but some people were not successful even like with the help they got there. When they post their own video and be like, don't trust those YouTube gurus, you know. I watch sports, fill up psychology. Okay, that's like what you watch nowadays. Like in terms of like, not watching slop, right? But like something more meaning, with something more meaning. I need like also like something more with like story. Or that something deeper. I don't always need it, you know, but every now and then would be like appreciated. Yet still have to watch like things like Monster or like Evangelion, you know. Things like what is called? Like good animation shows like Nijijo or like City Animation. Like last season, summer was like pretty strong, and there were like a lot of banger movie stuff out there, movies even. There's like things like Demon Slayer, which is like shonen slop, but man, the animations are like slapping, you know. And there's like Chainsaw Man Reze arc. I guess I wanna watch that. A lot of people said like really good things about that, so I'm curious. My fave anime ever is probably Overlord because character design. Ah, okay. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, right? I like the music. I heard the light novel is like has a better storytelling than anime. Anime is like somewhat original. I heard like. I can't really confirm since I haven't read it, you know. But I know like a friend who's like reading. And there's also like the meme of like, you know, when you go into a boss battle, you know, in RPG, before you actually get into the battle, you buff yourself with everything you got, you know, before you actually like are ready to fight. And and the anime was kind of like a little bit funny because Momonga was like in there in front of like the possessed here, and he buffed himself like for about 1 minute before you know, there was like 1 minute of screen time roughly before we could actually like see the fight scene, you know, something like that. And it's not only about one character, it's about a like different set of like main characters there. I did like the kind of stuff, you know, like when it's like switch from character to character, you know. Not only like a Momo and the Scream, it's like showed like for quite a bit like adventurers group, or like the perspective from Sebas, the butler guy, you know. It was kind of interesting. There was like Evil Eye and everything. I did like Evil Eye. Like from a character perspective, I kind of like Tsunderes, I suppose. Like a lot of people like Tsunderes, right? Yeah. It has like a lot of things there. Even if I know like the anime is like not the best medium to watch it, you know, it's like the easiest. And yeah, let's see how it is. I need to drink some water. I think I have to apply like some color adjustment there, but I need a separate program for that. But I think if I like do this now. Okay, it was not a big change. Even some color splashes. Airbrush? Yeah, here. Yeah, it's like with the toothpick meme, right? One toothpick changes everything. Do you like traditional drawing more or digital? If I look at art, I like both. But if I go like to digital drawing, sometimes I found myself like stopping when I scroll, click on the image, zoom in, and be like, wow, they did this and that. It's not fully clean. They did like some dirtiness there, so it means you have like room for error. Freedom in drawing. Everything has to be like perfect, you know. When I go to traditional art, I like that too, but what impresses me sometimes is when they can do something photorealistic, even like with analog drawing, you know. But if it comes to drawing, the comfort zone lies in traditional drawing. But if I do like digital art, I do that for the longest time, by the way. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to say. Like with the... I don't hate like digital drawing. I default like to... the chibi art style, you know, super deformed. And I have like fun with it and I can sketch. Oh, it's not so bad actually, but I should like make sure to not overdo it. It's gonna look like really convoluted. Don't overdo it, Tosan. I feel like I learn more of the additional. And if I do learn more of that, that's cool. All good. Learn like how you want to do. And what you're interested in personally. Oh yeah, by the way it's winter, so maybe that's like why I kinda like go with this vibe. Yeah. It is winter, by the way. It's like technically this winter with December, yeah. Didn't realize that. But yeah, I'm also like born in winter, maybe. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna call it quits here for now. I haven't saved the image in the whole progress for today. It is dangerous, you know, but I'm not really used to it, I suppose. Save to unsave. But yeah, in any case, that has been all for today. Let me see how it looks like on stream. Yeah, not so bad actually. I probably have to like to do some color adjustments with like a program. But yeah, for now, it's like okay, I suppose. Maybe I could like fill in a bit more, but okay. I will do some color adjustments off stream, but I will have it uploaded within today. In any case, this has been like an almost 4-hour stream. Under 4-hour stream, let's go. For tomorrow I will also have a stream at the same time. It could have better light art. Maybe it's gonna like see. I'm gonna adjust a little bit. But tomorrow I'm gonna stream again. I will do try emotes. My emotes are like pretty outdated on Twitch. Probably gonna just self-insert myself there, since the faces you can like do here with this, you know, can be pretty funny, you know. So gonna go with that. In any case, have a nice rest of the day, evening, good night, whatever times in the world you all are. With that, I'm gonna say bye bye.